Yeah, that's right. Cooper, I want to get right to the point. You told me you came up here to enjoy the scenery.
Yes, that's right. Why?
The man who was killed last night, Art Wesley, he was trying to expose a national gambling syndicate.
Oh, that's very interesting. So?
So, I know a police detective in New York who thinks you're a member of that syndicate.
Well, now, Mr. Dollar, that's a very serious charge. I presume you have proof. Well? Uh-huh. No proof. Well, in that case, I don't think there's any...
Mr. Dollar, the long-distance call for you. You can take it on that phone right beside you.
Thanks, clerk. Johnny Dollar.
Rastelli in New York, Johnny.
Hi, Lieutenant. You locate that?
Yeah, the safe deposit box, and in it we found the name of the man Art Wesley was closing in on. It's Cooper.
Thanks very
all right,
much.
So you...
Well, Cooper, you wanted proof? We've got it. Evidence that ties you in with the syndicate. Clerk.
Well, now, this is ridiculous,
Is
Dollar.
it? Let me tell you the facts about this thing.
Is something the matter, Mr. Dollar?
Get Sheriff Tompkins on the phone, clerk. Tell him I've got Art Wesley's killer here.
You mean Mr. Cooper?
Oh, now, wait a minute. Now, look, Dollar. If you'd get your facts straight, you'd drop this silly notion of yours.
What kind of facts, Cooper?
What time was Wesley killed?
Between 10:30 and 11 last night.
But, Mr. Dollar, Mr. Wesley's place is some 6 miles from here.
That's right. Why?
Well, then Mr. Cooper couldn't have killed him.
What do you mean?
Last night, I took a drink to Mr. Cooper's cottage here at the inn.
What time?
Around 20 to 11, and I chatted with him for at least 15 minutes.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, quite sure.
Well, Mr. Dollar, I'll buy you a drink sometime.
Cooper strolled back to the bar with a satisfied smirk on his face. So the one man who had to be Art's killer couldn't have killed him. I collared the clerk again and had him repeat his story in detail.
If you recall, it rained heavily last night, Mr. Dollar.
Yes, I drove through it on my way up here.
Well, I was making the rounds of the inn, checking windows, things like that, when the house phone rang. It was Mr. Cooper calling from his cottage. He wanted a drink.
You say that was at 20 to 11?
Yes, I always jot down the time when I am called away from the desk.
All right, go on.
Well, when I got to Mr. Cooper's cottage, he was sitting in the living room in front of the fire with a book.
Yeah.
We chatted a while, and then when I returned here to the desk, I jotted down the time again. 10:55.
Well, that does it.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's a good 20-minute drive from here to Art Wesley's lodge. If he was killed between 10:30 and 11 and Cooper was here at that time, he couldn't have done it.
Well, I'm sorry, but facts are facts. And... Oh, excuse me. Lake Watika Inn. Yes, just a moment. Sheriff Tompkins, Mr. Dollar.
Oh, thanks. Hi, Sheriff.
Thought you ought to know, son. Remember that man Buckley we were looking for?
Yeah, sure, the other guest at the inn.
Yeah, we picked him up. I've been questioning him for an hour.
Any luck?
No, sir. He's just a traveling salesman who stayed at the inn because he didn't want to drive in the rain.
You sure?
Buckley swears he doesn't even know Cooper. Just between you and me, Johnny, I think we got the wrong fella.
No place again. I decided to start all over. Got into my car and drove to Art Wesley's place. Nothing was changed. I remember the trip I'd made the night he was killed, how it rained heavily until about half an hour before I arrived. How I'd found him lying in the open doorway, a bullet hole in his head. Yeah, and the hole in the ceiling over the shelf of provisions, marking the path of the bullet. It was there. So were the provisions. Canned food, mustard, sugar, a package of crackers. There was some... Wait a minute. Sugar. The sugar bowl. I stared at it for a moment. I remembered a couple of things the room clerk at the inn had told me. And suddenly the whole deal slid neatly and quietly into place. I drove back to the inn fast. Cooper's cottage was empty, so I went inside to the bedroom and took a look around. Then I spotted one of the pictures on the wall, a little out of place. I looked behind it. Yeah, just what I expected. Outside, I found Cooper sitting on the terrace in front of the main building. I slid into a chair across from him.
Well, Mr. Dollar, what fantastic crime are you going to accuse me of today?
Cooper, I got a one-track mind. and it's still stuck on murder.
Oh, now look, Dollar. We've been over this before, and personally, I find it quite boring. So much so that it's interfering with my vacation here.
That's too bad.
Yes, it is. So I'm leaving this evening.
I don't think so, Cooper.
Oh, come now.
Art Wesley was trying to expose a figure in a gambling syndicate. You.
Well, that's a matter of conjecture.
You had to stop him for keeps.
Oh, now look, Dollar. The time of Art Wesley's death has been established as between 10:30 and 11 last night.
That's right, between 10:30 and 11 last night.
And I'm sure you remember the room clerk telling you he was with me in my cottage living room from 10:40 to 10:55.
I sure do.
So that I certainly couldn't have killed your friend Wesley 6 miles from here during that time.
Except that Art Wesley wasn't killed at his lodge.
What are you talking about?
You see, I remembered something else the clerk had told me. The night of the killing, it stopped raining a little after 11.
All right, what difference does that make?
All the difference in the world, believe me. Here's what really happened, Cooper. You killed Art Wesley in the bedroom of your cottage here at the inn.
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
You immediately called the room clerk over and chatted with him in your living room for about 15 minutes. He didn't know there was a corpse in the next room.
Oh, really?
After he left, you took Wesley's body the 6 miles to his place and planted it in the doorway.
Oh, now look, Dollar.
Your problem was to make it look like he'd been killed there. Then you remembered. The slug that had killed him hit the wall in your bedroom. That gave you an idea. You figured out the right angle at the lodge and fired a shot upwards from the outside the door. It went through the ceiling at the back.
All right, Dollar, I've had enough of your half-baked theories with no proof whatsoever to back them up.
Correction, Cooper. This time I've got proof. There was a shelf of food under the bullet hole and a bowl of sugar directly under it.
A bullet? So what?
When sugar gets wet, it gets crusty, and it stays that way. But the sugar in that bowl was dry. Now, if the killing was between 10:30 and 11, and it rained heavily until after 11, then some rain would have dropped through the bullet hole into the sugar.
I see.
But, Cooper, the sugar was dry. So the bullet hole was made after the time of the murder, when you planted Wesley's body there. Just a little detail, Cooper, but it nails you. That, and of course, the fact I found the slug that really killed Wesley just a couple of minutes ago.
Oh?
Buried in the wall of your bedroom behind a picture you'd moved slightly to cover it.
Well, Dollar, I may as well tell you that I saw you come out of my cottage a few minutes ago. I figured you knew. So ever since you sat down here, I've been holding a gun on you under the table.
You know, Cooper, I may as well tell you. Ever since I sat down here, I've been holding a gun on you, too.
Well, you...
Let's have it.
Well, you didn't have any gun.
A big-time gambler, bluffed right out of the game. Cooper, you're slipping. Item 10, $37.50. Transportation and incidentals back to Hartford. Expense account total $187.40. Remarks? Cooper's awaiting trial. About Art Wesley? Well, I guess that sugar bowl was a dead man's revenge. And come to think of it, that revenge was pretty sweet. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Our star will return in just a moment. In days long since gone by, one had to go out in search of daring do. But in a fast-moving world, exciting things are happening right around the clock. Things you can be in on no matter what else you're doing, as long as your radio is nearby. With CBS newsmen on the job, you can make CBS Radio your listening post for world events. Stay tuned now for 5 minutes of CBS News, to be followed over most of these same stations by the FBI in peace and war. Now, here is our star to tell you about next week's story.
Next week, colorful New Orleans, from nightlife in the Latin Quarter to the dismal, deadly swamps. Join us, won't you? Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, starring Bob Bailey, originates in Hollywood. Written by Robert Reif, it is produced and directed by Jack Johnstone. Heard in tonight's cast were Virginia Gregg, Russell Thorson, Barney Phillips, Stacey Harris, Larry Thor, Parley Bear, and Les Tremaine. Musical supervision is by Amerigo Marino. Be sure to join us next week, same time and station, for another exciting story of yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Dan Cubberly speaking.
morning. Good morning, weirdos. We're just about ready to begin our show. Let's have a little music.
There's a guy I'd like to kill. If he doesn't stop, I will. Got a ukulele and a voice that's loud and shrill. 'Cause he lives next door to me, and he keeps me up till 3 with his ukulele and a funny melody. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. His ukulele daily, how he'll strum. Bum-bum-bum, vampin' and stampin', then he hollers black bottom. Crazy words, crazy tunes, he'll be driving me crazy soon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. I have begged that guy to stop. I have even called a cop. Told my dog go stick him, but the darn dog wouldn't go. But tonight will be the end, yes sirree, 'cause I intend to go up and kick him in the bo-do-do-de-o-do. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. He's got to stop it, yes he must, or I'll just kill him, I'll kill him. Then I'll do the black bottom when I'm jailed for my deed. To the jury and the judge I'll plead. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Everybody sings nowadays. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do. Every goof, every chic, soon as you can begin to shriek. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Go on the east side, the west side, here or there, everywhere. They do-do, bo-do-do, then they holler black bottom, young or old, old or young. The guy that started it should be hung. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do.
And the show begins now. Good morning, one and all weirdos. How are you this morning? I am not doing too shabby, all things being considered. I'm okay. I got up early to fight the computer here to make sure that we got on time, and guess what? It worked. It worked. I got on at 4:30, and everything wasn't working. Everything was crap. So because I gave myself a half hour this morning, everything is looking up. So today is Old Time Radio Wednesday. Anybody know what that means? Anybody? Well, if you've been paying attention, you know that Old Time Radio Wednesday is a day that we play old time radio. That's what we do here on Wednesdays. So what I am going to do, and what I like to do, is go to my YouTube channel, and I have turned on, have I turned on my shows? Let me go and turn on my shows for this morning, and then we will join our Old Time Radio Wednesday here. Let's see, we've got a full playlist here. You know what? Let's go to Manage Videos. And we're going to turn these guys on. I uploaded them last night and left them private until this morning. And now I get to go change that and make them public. And then we can all dig in. Okay, it looks as though one video is still running checks. How could that be, you say? It's been happening all night long. I reckon that at some point I may have to go back and reload this episode of The Whistler. So if it's not ready by the time we're ready, you know what? We're just going to listen to an older one that we've already uploaded. How does that sound? Well, before we get started listening to a show this morning, I just want to let you know that there's a little bit less interference in my microphone today because I moved it away from this computer. This computer has a tendency to go whoosh, and it was buzzing into my microphone, so I hung my microphone. Now we're looking at just a tiny bit more professional here, and while this is not a job, this is not a professional recording studio. This is my hobby. I want it to be as professional as possible because, it's just nicer aesthetically. It's just a nicer thing. Stop virtual. All right. Well, I'm hitting the wrong mouse here, so I am going to put this mouse away, so I don't stop my program accidentally, and then I will hit this Inner Sanctum video. I hope you were here last night for Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia. My brother was, and that was really, really cool. My brother stopped by last night and watched most of the show before the girls got home, and he had to run and be a grandpa and husband and do those things that we do as males, or as better halves, as it were. My lava lamp this morning is in full fantastic form. I really love it when these spheres are all kind of bobbing around and up and down, and it, to me, it reminds me of when I was a kid, and I would go and hold my face, right, when you sit there and you do this and you kind of hold your eyes, and when you're doing that for a long time, after a while you start to see stuff, right, flashes of lights and colors, and that kind of reminds me of those little round lights and colors and stuff you see in your vision when you're holding your face, or when you close your eyes real tight and look up at the sun and you get that pinkish light coming through your eyelids. these are the things that amused me as a child, right? Because sitting alone most of the time, I was left to my own devices, which meant that quite often I would have to amuse myself. So I always had, you know, a little bit of string, maybe a magnet, some marbles. You know, I was one of those kids that always had a little something in his pocket to keep him busy, you know. Because yeah, I mean, crapola. Well, shoot. Let's not forget today that I do need to wake up my wife at 6:45 Pacific Standard Time, of course, because, you know, I'm on the West Coast here. So I set my alarm because last week, with all these technical difficulties, I was rolling through last week on Wednesday. I didn't have a daytime morning show. I had to catch up in the evening. I came back last Wednesday night with a Wednesday night show. And I believe the Wednesday night show is when I played around with the idea of doing an hourly nighttime show. And it was so much fun that even with the technical difficulties, I decided to come back and do a morning show and an evening show. So I'm here at 5 in the morning Pacific Standard Time and 5 in the evening Pacific Standard Time. So in the mornings, we've got Mornings with Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy. And then in the evenings at 5 o'clock, I've got Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia, which is just an hour-long program, approximately. I do go on early. I go on about a half an hour early, and if I don't have any technical difficulties, then it's an actual half an hour of entertainment. If I am having technical difficulties, then it's kind of a hodgepodge of me coming in, looking at the feed, checking it, canceling the feed, going back, tweaking the programs, and then coming back and looking at the feed again, and hopefully we can get away from doing that. I try to keep a couple of different feeds coming in from YouTube Live so that I can kind of keep track of how everything is looking. Are we looking good? Are we live? I mean, what's the deal here? So I'm going to delete these 4 videos that I did this morning, my 4 tests, so they won't be running amok later in my playlist and getting people all confused. What is this? What is this? What is this? It's like he's got like 5 different episode 18s. What's the deal? Yeah. So I'm gonna get rid of those, and then at some point, we're gonna get rolling and play some old time radio because it's Wednesday. And what do I have picked out for you today? I have Inner Sanctum. I have The Whistler. Of course, I have X-1. And you can leave the screen. I'm going to leave the screen. What else do I have this morning? Did I turn them on? Did I turn them on? Did I? 6 minutes ago. 6 minutes ago. 6 minutes ago. All right, hey, those appear to be my show. So I've got Inner Sanctum, The Great Gildersleeve, X-1, and The Whistler is not ready to view. So we are not going to view that one. We will take a gander at Whistler from a previous episode. And it looks like I don't have... Where's a Whistler? Do we have another Whistler? Yes. We have a previously recorded episode of The Whistler, so we will listen to that one today, unless this other one is ready by then. And then when that other one, if it's not ready, then I'll just reboot the damn thing. I'll just reload it like an old shotgun. I'll just reload. I'm gonna reload it, and that's all there is to it. Hey, what are you doing? Stop reloading, man. I can't help it. I got to reload, because I got to reload. So if somebody wants to remind me to wake up my wife, that'd be great. Then I could mute this alarm and not have that interrupt me during the show. But like it's live action here. This is the realest reality show we got on TV going. This is it. This is what they call reality. Now, when we get to the nighttime show, the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, that's a family show. There's none of this hoopla. There's none of this nonsense. I try to keep the language down to a minimal nastiness there. I don't do anything on my show that, pretty much that I do here in the mornings. I pretty much try to keep it clean in the evenings so that families can view this show. So I'm not sitting around doing bong hits all night and talking about shit and eating pussy or whatever. My brother very humorously sent me a link to an older woman from she was born in the 1800s, and in the 20s and 30s she was rocking out with some great blues and weird stuff. And so he sent me this weird, I guess it's a novelty song, right? And it was it was nasty. It was a nasty song. A woman talking about sex and body parts and nastiness, and it's stuff that I'm not really into. I mean, I have a limit. I have a cap on what I can deal with, and that's not it. That's not my cup of tea, right? So I won't be playing that kind of stuff on here. You know, the guy shit himself, or he sat on his balls or something. I'm not going to be playing that kind of stuff in the evening. So, and I won't be using foul language. I won't be using drugs. I won't be doing all that stuff. So be sure to show up and bring the wife and kids and grandma, grandpa, and everybody's just going to love this nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. I try to pick stuff that's fun. All right. The music that I like to pick for the nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, not just music, comedy, novelty music, stuff that makes you happy, old jazz and blues. We played a song this morning at the beginning of the show before we got started, and that was Crazy World, Crazy Tune, or Crazy Words, Crazy Tune, 1927, Frank Crummett, and that's a novelty tune. It was, about a guy with a ukulele next door who all he would sing with his ukulele is Vodio Dodio Dodio Do, right? Vodo Dodio Do. If you ever watched Laverne and Shirley, Cindy Williams, Penny Marshall, then you know that Vodio Do meant doing it, meant having sex, meant knocking boots. So Vodo Dodio Do. I never Vodio Doed. I might have Vodio Dodi. I might have Vodioed, but I never Vodio Dodio Doed. Yeah, so we'll play that one again this evening. So be sure to tune in this evening and hear crazy words and crazy tunes. Well, we are going to play a show that's about a half an hour long. So I am going to kind of wait another 5 minutes or so that when we start the program and my alarm goes off at 1:45 to we don't have anything to worry about it because we're way early. So I guess I can play my first show anytime. In a time I can play my first show, I guess. And it's my program here, so I can start whenever I want, so don't get pushy. I was kind of hoping that somebody else would show up this morning so that I could be entertaining to someone other than just myself. Although I am entertaining myself when I start up a live feed and it's shit, it's garbage, and within a couple of minutes I can figure it out and get back on with y'all, right? To me, that's like magic, the fact that I'm able to do that. I am going to pause syncing on this computer over here so my cloud is not syncing and eating up my internet speed. And then there's that. So now when I'm playing my my radio show this morning for you from my YouTube channel, which is great that I can do this, right? I can boot up my program over here to go live. I can have everything right here in front of me on these little lights and mixers and stuff. You see these lights here. So this is my audio and video coming in. And then this computer over here has got my graphics, my video, my audio, my pictures, everything that I feed into you through this other camera. A lot of it comes from YouTube, my own channel and other people's channels. So if you see something in a playlist and it's not by me, please visit that channel, give them a like, subscribe if it's something that interests you, share the love, spread the love, people. You don't necessarily have to like and subscribe stuff on my channel, but if you can help out the people that I'm using to support my channel, please do so. I'm not in this for the likes and the subscribes. It's nice. The further we go with the subscribes, the more I'm going to do for you all. All right? But I'm here for me. I'm here for me. I'm here for my brother Robert, my sister Brandy, my daughter especially, family and friends and stuff. And hi, Joey. Joey's here. Joey is a family friend. He came to visit me, and he visits me on a regular basis. How are you feeling, Joey? Are you feeling better? Did you get to go to work? From somebody who stopped by on my channel the other day, people are missing you. They're wondering, where's Joey? Where's Joey? Yeah, you're here, but where have you been? Are you okay? Did you get through your sickness? Or have you just been sitting at home listening to records going, yeah, they think I'm sick? Oh, too much. Too much. Yeah, a little bit of silence there for you all. We've got a house guest. We don't often get house guests because third 11-hour shift this week. Boy, you need to take a break, huh? Why? Jeez Louise. Yeah, so we have one of my daughter's best friends has come out from Arizona yet again, only this time not for a concert. This time Charlie is here for my daughter's graduation. This is a big day. It's a second graduation in 2 years. She graduated high school a couple of years back, and now she's graduating college. She's graduating from our local college. Just if I could point a camera out this window, you could literally see the shining roofs, the shining rooftops of Copper Mountain College just down the road. And she is graduating Friday with no less than 3 degrees. She's getting her transfer degree so she can move on to university. She's getting her general education diploma, right? And she's also getting a liberal arts degree, right? Bada bing bang boom. She's working it. I'm hoping that she can do just as well at university because she's rocking it. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. I think it's the overwhelming feeling of being so drained that I hate about being sick, especially when you got the flu, or lately these flus just really, they hang on for weeks, right? They just make you so freaking like a walking zombie for weeks. When I had COVID, and I hate to say that, but when I did, I got through all 9 of the 10 symptoms I got through within 3 days. And by the 4th day, I was just tired. For 3 weeks after that, I was just tired. I wasn't sick anymore, but I was just exhausted. It just takes a lot out of you. So thankfully you're doing better and on the mend and are able to work again. at some point, you just got to sit back and say, man, I got to worry about me. I got to worry about me. So, good on you, mate. Worrying about yourself, yeah? So, heidi-ho this morning. We are going to go directly to the Great Gildersleeve. All right, now, the Great Gildersleeve is one of my favorite comedy shows. I love his voice. I love his laugh. I love the characters on the show. I love the fact that he came from Wistful Vista. Wistful Vista is the fictional town where Fibber McGee and Molly live. And for a long time, he was a fixture on the Fibber McGee and Molly show. And he just got too big for his britches. He just got so funny, they decided to give him his own show. So the last Great Gildersleeve program we listened to was episode 1, the pilot episode. And it wasn't until about 3 or 4 months later that they came back and decided to do the actual Gildersleeve program. And this is the second broadcast in the Gildersleeve program series. So let's go ahead and join that already in progress
Kraft
here.
presents the Great Gildersleeve.
And I'll be right back.
Each week at this time, the Kraft Cheese Company presents for your enjoyment Harold Perry as the Great Gildersleeve, written by Leonard L. Levinson. We'll hear from the Great Gildersleeve in just a moment. But right now, here's a message of very great importance for today's menu makers. I don't know how much you housewives actually know about modern margarine, but there's probably been no time in the history of America when it was so important for you to have the true facts about nourishing, wholesome foods for your family. So I want to tell you about Parquet. Parquet is the new quality margarine made by Kraft, a delicious spread for bread, hot rolls, and toast. Now, of course, the fact that Parquet does taste so good probably accounts for its popularity as a spread in millions of homes. But this is even more important. Parquet margarine is a protective food with exceptionally high nutritional value. It is one of the best energy foods you can serve, and a reliable year-round source of vitamin A. There are 9,000 units of this vitamin in every pound of Parquet. So tomorrow, ask your food dealer for a pound of Parquet margarine made by Kraft. The whole family will like it because it tastes so good, and you'll know that you're giving them an economical, highly nutritious food made to the Kraft standards of quality. Just say Parquet, P-A-R-K-A-Y. And now for the adventures of the Great Gildersleeve. Wistful Vista.
Say, this is... Oh, Wistful Vista, where Fibber McGee and Molly live?
Yes, madam.
Oh, my. Do you think I'll be able to see them from the train window?
No, lady, the McGees are on their vacation.
Oh.
But say, there's a next-door neighbor of theirs, Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
Where?
That portly gent with the mustache on the platform, the one making a speech to his employees.
How do you know they're his employees?
Because every time he goes away, he gives them an hour off to come down to the station and wave goodbye.
Oh, so that's Mr. Gildersleeve. Well, I never thought...
Furthermore, I can't tell you how touched I am to see all the employees of the Gildersleeve Girdle Works down here at the station to bid me goodbye. It's indeed... by the way, is there anyone left at the plant?
No.
What if some orders come in? Who'll take the phone calls?
Mert.
Oh, Mert, eh? Yeah. As I was saying while I'm away, I expect every one of you to uphold Gildersleeve girdles to the best of your ability. And don't forget our motto. If you want the best of corsets, of course it's Gildersleeve.
Very good, T.P., very good.
Thank you. You'll get a raise. And though it's necessary for me to go away and attend to other enterprises, The one thing closest to my heart is the Gildersleeve girdle.
How long will you be gone, T.P.?
At least 3 days, and maybe till the end of the week.
Oh, before you go, T.P., the Gildersleeve Girdle Workers Guild wishes to present you with this handsome leather briefcase as a token of our esteem for you.
For me? I don't know what to say except... Yes, all aboard? Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Out of my way, everybody. Where are my bags?
On the train, T.P.
Thanks. I forgot to buy a ticket. Where do I buy a ticket?
On the train, T.P.
Oh, yes. Let go of me, boys. Where are you pushing me?
On the train, T.P.
Yeah. Goodbye, children. Goodbye, children.
Here's your ticket, Mr. Gildersleeve. Sorry I haven't any berths left.
Couldn't you squeeze me in somewhere?
I'll try, though it'll probably be a tight squeeze.
Tight squeeze. Side-splitting, isn't it?
Going to be in Summerfield long?
Oh, no, just 3 or 4 days. I'm taking over the administration of my brother-in-law's estate. They're going to run it for my niece and nephew. But that's quite involved, and I'm hungry. Which way is the diner?
Why, an old experienced traveler like you should know where the diner is.
Huh? Oh, of course. No matter where you are, the diner's always at the other end of the train. See you later. Excuse me, madam. Pretty crowded in this diner. By George, I'm so hungry I could eat the waiter.
Yes, sir?
Is it all right if I sit at this table?
Yes, sir. Sit right down, sir.
If this gentleman doesn't mind reading his paper on his own side. I said if this gentleman doesn't mind reading his paper on his own side.
Excuse me, sir. Does you mind?
Yes, I do. I'm particular whom I eat with.
You are, eh? Well, I'm not. I'm hungry. Waiter, bring me a steak. A nice, juicy, double tenderloin rare.
Waiter, where's my milk toast? I ordered it 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but milk toast takes time, you know.
And waiter, I want a big, heaping plate of French fries.
Yeah, French fries.
And a cup of strong coffee with lots of cream.
Yeah, I'll get it right away, sir.
And bring me my milk toast made with gluten bread, remember?
Bread. Oh, that reminds me. Some hot biscuits and a little pot of jam.
Gluten bread toasted and a cup of hot water.
And an apple pie a la mode with cheese.
Yeah, with cheese. Yeah.
I can't stand this. Listening to you is giving me heartburn.
It is, waiter, don't forget the steak sauce, ketchup, piccalilli, and relish.
Bring me a glass of bicarbonate of soda, quick.
Yes, sir. Right away, sir. I'll be back.
Of course, it's none of my business, mister.
And don't stick your nose in it.
Yeah. Well, all right. That's the way you feel about it. I was just going to tell you you're getting your newspaper in the mustard.
I don't use mustard.
No, I guess you don't need any. But what I was going to say was...
Never mind.
Okay, I won't say it then. That mustard from your newspaper is all over your sleeve now.
I don't care. What? Oh, of all the messes
Water only spreads it. You see what I tell you?
I'll thank you to mind your own business.
What's the big idea jumping down my throat?
What do you expect addressing a perfect stranger?
You're far from perfect, stranger. And from now on, I'm going to make a career out of ignoring you. Here comes my food. That's pretty snappy service, waiter.
Yes, sir.
Well, where's my milk toast?
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir, but the chef, he's all out of gluten bread. He wants to know would pumpernickel do just as well.
No, pumpernickel wouldn't do just as well. And why keep me waiting all the time while you serve this big buffalo the minute he sits down?
Oh, no, look here, mister.
I don't want to look here. I'm sick of the sight of you. The idea. An overstuffed ox like you guttling and gobbling and gorging yourself like an ostrich. I've got a bad case of indigestion already just from looking at you.
Why, you dyspeptic little dodo. Just because you're mean to your stomach and your stomach talks back to you, you bellyache. Excuse the expression. You're not suffering from indigestion. You're just green with Epicurean envy.
I won't sit here.
Here's your bicarbonate of soda, mister.
Take it away. I need something stronger than that now. I've got some pills down here in my briefcase.
Just a minute there. What are you doing with my briefcase?
Your briefcase? This is mine.
It is not. My employees gave it to me just this afternoon.
Take your fat paws off of my briefcase before I...
Before you watch, you dried up little crabapple.
Now, wait a minute, gentlemen, please.
Let go of my briefcase.
I will not. It's mine.
Why, the idea is...
Oh, yes,
Now,
ma'am.
Waiter, did you see anything of my briefcase? I left it... Oh, you gentlemen have it. Thank you so much.
Well...
There you are, Mr. Gildersleeve. I've located a berth for you at last.
Oh, that's fine, conductor. I was getting tired of sitting around here in my pajamas. Where is it?
It's upper 9 in the next car.
Upper 9? Oh, my goodness. The last time I was in an upper berth was, let me see, 50 pounds ago.
The porter's making it up for you now.
Yeah, thanks. I do hope that porter gives me a wide berth. It's so dark in here. Oh, porter! Porter!
Quiet!
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Must be sleeping. Oh, porter!
Yes, sir.
Have you got upper 9 ready yet?
Yes, but I didn't anticipate no gentlemen of such ample proportions.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'd better take a ladder.
Yes, better take 2. They're small.
Well, all right, come on.
Yes. Here we are, right up there, sir.
Up there? Oh, my goodness. Hold these ladders steady, porter. Remember, if they tip, I won't.
Yes. Now be careful, mister. Train's coming to a sharp curve pretty soon.
When?
Then.
Oh!
Hold on, Mr. Ladder Slide.
I can't hold on. I'm coming down. Look out below. Ooh!
No! What hit me?
Oh, my sacrilege.
Here, mister, let me help you up.
I don't want to get up. I want to sleep.
Not you, mister. The man in the upper. He's now in the lower.
Then where am I?
You're right here, brother.
Get off of my poor stomach. Who is it? Oh, it's you. What are you doing sneaking into my berth?
I'm not sneaking into your... I'm not sneaking. I'm trying to climb into bed. I'm your upstairs neighbor.
Isn't that nice? I hope that swinging shelf snaps shut on you.
Oh, yeah? If it's going to swing, I'll see that it swings your way. And if I land on you again, brother, you'll spend the rest of the night sleeping in the roadbed.
Oh, quiet. Let me go to sleep.
Okay, Grandpop, unpleasant dreams. All right, Porter, give me a leg up again, will you? 32,473. 32,474. 32,475. Oh, my goodness. 2 o'clock already and still not a wink. Yes, 32,476. 32,478. Oh, what's the use? There's only some way of stopping that buzzsaw down there. I can't stand this any longer. Where's that porter? I'll fix this guy.
Did you call me, sir?
Yes. Would you mind getting me a drink of ice water? I can't sleep.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh! Here's the water, mister.
Thank you. You needn't wait. Good night, good night, good night.
Good night, sir.
Yes. Now, if I can hold this cup in this hand and open the lower curtain with it. Ah, I've got it. Yeah. Steady now, Gildersleeve. Ready. Aim.
Oh, no. What was that? Porter! Porter! sister. Shut this window, will you? It's raining right in on my face.
Quiet! Can a man get any rest around here?
Good morning, sir. You's just pulling into Summerfield. You want me to brush you off?
No, I'll walk down the steps like the rest of the passengers. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Porter, you've given me such good service. Here's an order for a Gildersleeve girdle for your wife.
Thank you, sir. I happen to be a spinster at the moment. But if it's all right with you, I'll put it in my hope chest.
Yes. Yes, that's perfectly all right. Summerfield, eh? By George, I'm certainly looking forward to seeing Marjorie and little Leroy again.
Marjorie, why can't I call him TP like they do down at this foundry?
It isn't a foundry, Leroy. It's a... Oh, never mind. It's nothing that concerns little boys. And I'm sure that he will prefer to have you call him Uncle Throckmorton.
Oh, shucks. You can't go around calling a big, tough guy who runs a steel foundry Throckmorton. It's positively degradatory.
It's derogatory.
Yeah, it's that, too.
Leroy, who told you Uncle Throckmorton was in the steel business?
Nah, you thought you were so smart. I saw one of his letterheads. The Gildersleeve Girder Company.
Oh, yes. The Gildersleeve Girder Company.
See, he should be here by now, shouldn't he, Marjorie?
Now, don't you worry, Leroy. Just as soon as his train arrives, Mr. Wills will bring him here for breakfast.
Oh, I wanted to go down to the station, too.
I know, but Ted has to discuss all the legal details with Uncle Throckmorton before we go to court.
Say, you're getting pretty darn stuck on that Ted guy, aren't you?
Why, Leroy Forrester, I am not. Ted Wills is merely our lawyer.
He is not. Williams, Willies, and Wills are our lawyers, and Ted's nothing but the tail end.
Well, he's young yet. You just give him time.
Oh, there you go. Oh, say, how's if I should call him Uncle Morton?
Call who? Oh, Uncle Throckmorton. Well, I don't think he'd object to that.
Wait, I can do better than that. How's this? Uncle Mort.
Who's that?
Uncle Mort. I'll answer it.
Well, I'll bet this is little Leroy.
Hi, Uncle Mort.
Hi, who?
You, Uncle Mort. You don't mind if I call you Uncle Mort, do you, Uncle Mort?
No, not at all. Go right ahead. Uncle Mort, eh? I like that.
And this is Marjorie, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Marjorie, eh? Come here, my dear. My, how you've grown.
Hello, Uncle Throckmorton. Let me take your hat and coat. Will you have some breakfast?
No, thanks. I've already had mine on the... Well, I'll have a cup of coffee.
Sit right here, Uncle. Ted, you sit over there.
Oh, thanks.
My, this looks wonderful.
Hey, Unc, will you take me back to Wistful Vista with you and let me work in your factory?
What? Well, I didn't think you'd be interested in that sort of thing.
Now, Leroy.
Gee, I am, Uncle Mort. That must be some way out. I bet you make the supports for a lot of big projects there.
We don't turn out anything much like... we sort of confine ourselves to foundations. Yeah.
Say, I'd like to go along sometime when you install some of those foundations.
I don't have... What did you say, young man?
Please excuse Leroy, Uncle Mort. He's been like that ever since he found out that you owned the Gildersleeve Girder Company.
What? The Gildersleeve Girder? Oh, yes, I see it all now. Yes, a bright boy.
Gee, Unc, you ever have to slug it out with any of them tough steel workers of yours?
No, I never do.
You don't, huh?
Well, of course, there have been times when I've had to put more snap into their work. Yeah. Once I was so angry, I picked up a badly made foundation and bounced it right off the foreman's head.
You did?
Yeah.
Now, Leroy, let your uncle eat his breakfast.
Yeah.
Have some toast, Uncle Mort?
No, thanks. Speaking of toast reminds me of an amusing incident on the train last night. You'll enjoy this, Leroy. When I went into the diner, the only empty chair was at a table with a sound
Uh-oh.
Yeah, when the ice water hit him in the face. Yeah.
Well, it's time we leave for court, Mr. Gildersleeve.
It is? Come on, kids. This won't take long. Well, all I can say is we run things better than this in Wistful Vista. 11 o'clock and the judge hasn't even shown up yet.
Judge Hooker's usually very prompt.
Yes, the trouble with some of these judges is they think they're little tin gods. Take those black robes away from them, and what have they got? Bow legs.
Gee, that's a hot one, Uncle Mort.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it.
Everyone rise, please.
Ah, at last.
Superior Court, Department 25, the Honorable Hilltop H. Hooker, Judge presiding, is now in session. Be seated.
Sit down, Uncle Mort.
Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Who's that man sitting in the judge's chair?
Why, that's Judge Hooker.
Judge Hooker? That's the man in the lower berth.
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve for appointment as Administrator of the State of Ray Forrester.
Oh, that's us. Come on, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I'm not feeling very well, Ted. Couldn't we postpone this over to another judge?
Oh, come on, Uncle Mort. Remember what you said. This guy'll be a pushover.
Yes, a pushover.
Now, come on. Step up. Don't dawdle. I haven't got all day.
Make a snappy post. The judge is pretty short-tempered this morning. He didn't get any sleep last night.
Oh, my.
Your Honor, with your permission, I'll put Mr. Gildersleeve on the stand first.
Go ahead, Mr. Wills. Swear in the witness, Bill.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, help you?
I do.
Well, do you or don't you speak up?
I do.
That voice is very familiar. Turn around, Mr. Oh, so it's you.
Yes. Hello, Judge.
Mr. Wills?
Yes, Your Honor.
I will examine this man's qualifications if you don't mind.
I don't, Your Honor.
But I do.
Silence. Now then, Gildersleeve, what do you do for a living?
I make girdles, Your Honor.
Order in this court. Order in the court. Order in the court. Order.
Order.
And you, Gildersleeve, any more cheap humor and I'll judge you in contempt.
But it's true, Your Honor. I'm the president of the Gildersleeve Girdle Company.
Uncle Mort, tell him the truth. He doesn't make girdles, Judge.
And what does he do?
Steel foundations.
I bet he would, too. Now, no more interruptions, my boy. Remember, this is a courtroom. You realize who I am, of course.
Sure, you're a bow-legged little tin guy.
Yeah.
What?
Now, Leroy.
But you just said so yourself, Uncle Mort.
Oh, you did.
Just a little joke, Your Honor. You know how I kid.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask you a plain question, and I want a plain answer.
Yeah.
What business are you in?
Well, that is, Leroy, would you mind going out into the hall and get me some ice water?
One moment. Who's running this court, you or I?
Better not get Uncle Mort mad, Judge. Last night he threw a whole bucket of water on a guy in the bus under him.
Oh, my, here we go again.
He did he?
Yeah, and this poor sap woke up and thought it was raining.
Oh.
You ought to hear Uncle Mort tell him.
Thanks, I will. Let's hear all about it, Uncle Mort.
But, Judge Hooker, it's after 5 o'clock. This poor man's been on the witness stand all day.
All right. One more question, then I'll hand down my decision. Mr. Gildersleeve, what makes you think that you have executive ability?
Well, I have a large staff of my own, and through years of experience, I know the proper relationship between employer and employee.
Your Honor.
Yes, Mr. Wells?
Our firm has thoroughly investigated Mr. Gildersleeve, and we're satisfied as to his qualifications.
Mr. Wills, I have great respect for you and your associates. That is probably the only reason why I'm going to grant your petition.
Hooray!
However, in order to protect these children from their own misguided enthusiasm, I'm going to require this Gildersleeve to report to me every single week.
But,
he
Your
must
Honor...
get an okay for every cent that he spends.
But, Judge...
And I will require him to post a bond of $50,000 in cash.
Now, see here, Hooker.
Tin cod and tea.
I won't stand for this. I'll resign.
Quiet. Gildersleeve, I never sent for you. You came here begging for this job. To quote from Broadby versus Union Buggy Corporation, Civil Code of Nebraska, you made your bed and you can't lie out of it.
But my business in Wistful Vista...
You remain here and make this estate pay or go to jail for contempt.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not going to...
Court is adjourned.
I'll kill that old goat. Ted, we've got to do something about this. Do you realize that a $50,000 bond would not only take every cent of my ready cash, but also means a mortgage on my Gordle Works?
Gee, I'm sorry about how the whole thing went, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, maybe if we went into the judge's chambers, we could persuade him to lower the bond, Uncle Mort.
Sure, just let me talk to him.
Young man, you've talked enough for one day.
Oh, how about it, Ted?
Well, it won't hurt to try. Come on.
Yeah.
Come in.
Excuse us, Judge Hooker. You remember me, don't you? I thought perhaps maybe we could possibly get that little cash bond reduced.
I don't see why I should have...
If you spoke to somebody who'd known me for a long time, they might convince you that I'm not such a bad fellow.
Oh, that would be fine, Uncle Mort.
Yeah.
Who could the judge talk to?
Why, the president of the Wistful Vista Chamber of Commerce. He's my next-door neighbor, too. A chap named Fibber McGee. We can call him long distance, Your Honor.
Yes, I see, Mr. McGee. Yes, I'm glad you put me straight on that.
Yes, I knew my little chum would set me in right.
That's a very good point.
Leroy, I want you to meet McGee one of these days. There's one of nature's noblemen.
I guess you've made up my mind for me, Fibber.
Yeah, Fibber.
Hold the phone a second, I'll tell him. Gildersleeve?
Yes, Judge?
Gildersleeve, I've decided to rescind that $50,000 bond.
I knew that would happen if you spoke to my little pal.
Yes, after talking to McGee, I'm going to make that bond $100,000.
What? Give me that telephone. Hello? You're a hard man, McGee.
The great Gildersleeve will be with us again in a few minutes. While Uncle Trock recovers from that one, I want to say a word that I believe will make every thinking housewife want to try parquet margarine tomorrow. This delicious new craft product is most popular as a spread for bread and a seasoning for hot-cooked foods because of its delicate, pleasing flavor. But the same qualities that make it so good for table use make it an extra fine shortening for baking. I say extra fine because it has all the qualities of an ordinary shortening, plus fine flavor and added nourishment. Let me read you a statement from Mrs. Lillian Watts, who, having been born and raised on a farm, is mighty particular about food. She says, quote, I have a family of 8, and they all like parquet margarine. I use it in various ways: cakes, bread, muffins, biscuits, soup, spreads, and other ways too numerous to mention. Thank you 1,000 times for this wonderful product. End of quote. Now, that's a mighty enthusiastic statement. But you'll be just as enthusiastic once you have tried parquet.
Butter.
It's so delicious, so nourishing, so grand in every way. Tomorrow, be sure to order parquet, the economical spread made by Kraft. And remember, every pound of parquet margarine contains 9,000 units of vitamin A.
By George Leroy, I'm going to show that judge I can run that estate, or my name won't be Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve.
You bet it won't, Uncle Mort. You won't even have a name.
Yeah, no. I'll just have a number. Good night, folks.
Original music on tonight's program was composed and conducted by William Randolph. This is Jim Bannon saying good night for Kraft and reminding you to tune in again next week at the same time to hear the further adventures of the great Gildersleeve. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, that was so cool. I dig Gildersleeve. He's one of my favorite funny guys.
Have you heard the Whistler?
Have you? Have you heard the Whistler? Damn it. Notes in the night. You know what? That's the one that I just uploaded. Apparently, it is ready to go. Yeah. Wow. Isn't that fantastic? So it looks like we are going to listen to a new Whistler today. And there you go. So, a bow-legged little tin god. Take away that robe and he's nothing but a bow-legged guy. You're a hard man, McGee. That's one of the things that I missed about the Gildersleeve program, was that he didn't have McGee, or rather McGee didn't have him. But on this show, McGee has not only Judge Hooker, but he has Leroy. And Leroy is probably one of my favorite juvenile characters on these programs. He's just a funny kid. I don't know that he's played by a kid. He could be played by somebody who can do a kid voice. There was a lot of that. Usually, women were responsible for most of the children voices on radio, including the boys. So this may, in fact, be a female doing the voice of Leroy, but I think it's an actual kid. One of the expressions we heard as he was trying to climb up into his bed on the train was, "I hope you gave me a wide berth," right? And so everybody knows that expression, right? Give him a wide berth, and that's where that comes from riding in trains that have berths, the big beds with the curtains, just like in the in some episodes of the Honeymooners, the episodes of Lucille Ball, I Love Lucy, right? They did some funny train stuff there. It's kind of funny that on the Fibber McGee and Molly show, initially, what's his face, Gildersleeve, was introduced on that show as Dr. Gildersleeve, but they had another doctor on the show, so they didn't want to have two similar characters, so they made him the owner of a girdle factory, which is quite humorous in itself, especially the fact that Leroy thinks that he runs a steel girder factory. So there's a lot of fun in that humor there. One last thing is, what the heck's up with apple pie a la mode with cheese? And if that was a thing, what kind of cheese? Was it a hunk of cheddar? Was it sliced cheese? Did you just put a slice of American on it? What was the cheese that they put on apple pie? A la mode. And for those of you who don't know, a la mode means ice cream. Apple pie with ice cream and cheese. I don't get it. I've never tried this. While I have tried some unique food combinations, that is not one of them. When I was a teenager, I went over to a girlfriend's house, and she asked if I wanted something to eat, right? And I said, well, what do you got? And she says, well, you want a sandwich? We've got peanut butter and jelly, and we've got some tuna salad in there. And I said, oh, that sounds great. Can you put some extra mustard on it? And she said, the tuna salad, right? And I said, yeah, with the PB&J, right? And she's like, what? And I said, no, and I was just being, you know, a young punk trying to be hip and cool. And, yeah, give me one of them, baby. And I was just being really, really silly. And so I asked for this sandwich, a PB&J / tuna salad with mustard, right? And I'll be damned if that wasn't the most tastiest thing I had ever eaten, right? I was like, what? She sat and watched me finish that whole fucking sandwich, and I amazed myself. But it was great. What a weird food combination. The sweet of the peanut butter and jelly, and the flavor of the pickle relish and the mustard with the tuna fish. It was just bizarre. And actually, I have had that same sandwich, you know, probably 10 or 15 years ago, just to you know, see if it was just one of those things, you know, but it was actually good. I had it again and it was good. So there you go. There's that. So, you know, don't try this at home, kids. Don't go running to mom and saying, make me a PB&J and tuna fish with extra mustard, because she gonna think you nuts. She gonna take you to a loony bin and have you examined big time. So you don't want to do none of that kookiness. Don't do that stuff. Unless, of course, you're just weird. Well, then it's go ahead. Stay weird. You know. Stay weird, pony boy. Totally. So yeah, I want to thank Joey for stopping by this morning and hanging out. I know he's been running some long shifts and just getting over sick. Getting over being sick, that must suck. Sick sucks. It sucks to be sick. Yeah, so get some rest. Drink lots of orange juice, lots of water. Eat a lot. Eat a lot of food. And get a lot of rest. You can kick it, man. Yeah, being tired after you've been sick it's the worst, you know. All you want to do is get back to normal, and you're just exhausted, right? And I know exhausted. I do exhausted every day. I have been going to sleep earlier. I have been getting into bed by 10 o'clock, and I have been nodding off by 11. I still get up a couple of times during the night, but I'm able to get back to sleep quicker. And at this point, I'm waking up on my own before the 4 a.m. bell rings. A few minutes before 4 a.m., I open my eyes and look up at the clock and go, hey, look, it's time to get up. That's that internal chronometer thing working again. Mine's always been really, really on, and it's been off lately. For my whole life, being an insomniac, it's been, you know, real easy for me to just set a time in my head and then get up. So, speaking of time, it is 6 a.m. Here Wednesday morning, Old Time Radio Wednesday. It is May 22nd, 2024. We just heard the second pilot episode airing of Gildersleeve. The pilot episode was dubbed the audition show when it was released a few months before this program. This program is almost an identical copy of that last program. This is broadcast new, but it has some changes, and if you were to go and listen to both of them side by side, you would definitely hear the changes in the script. And the plot is pretty much the same, but there are a few changes in the script. So go through and find out what those changes are. Like I said before, I really dig me some Gildersleeve. He's a crazy guy. He's just a wacky, that voice, that laugh, it's infectious. And I can't wait to bring more Gildersleeve to you. And I think the next one that we have is his niece has a cake. It's a birthday cake or something about a cake. I remember seeing the title, and I'll be putting that show together not next week, but soon. I think next week we're going to have, of course, more X-1. And what else do we have for next week? Bickersons. We're going to listen to some more Bickersons. I'll try to find an actual half-hour-long program from the Bickersons. We've got some shorts, some little, 5 to 10 minute shorts of the Bickersons. They did a small program until they got picked up for a half-hour show. So we'll play some of those in the evening to kind of spruce up the comedy side of Nonsense and Nostalgia. Captain Midnight will be premiering on this show next Wednesday. Captain Midnight is a serial in like 10 or 15 minute blocks, and it was broadcast 3 or 4 days a week, and it was used to sell, cereal or Ovaltine or some kind of nonsense like that, as was Little Orphan Annie. And then also, we're going to take a look back at the beginnings of Superman, and where Superman came from, and his mother and father, and the whole event behind Superman's existence here on the planet Earth. And it's an early version, so we don't have country bumpkin parents that find him in an old Model T, right, as he crashes in a field. We don't have that. We have nothing like is in the movies, especially the, I think, what is it, 1979 Superman movie with Christopher Reeves. That was probably my favorite version of Superman. You've got me, but who's got you? Margot Kidder and Jackie Cooper is in that. He plays the boss at the newspaper. Just a whole host of great actors and actresses in the first and second. That they shot this movie Superman. It was going to be this huge, long, epic movie, and they're like, "What are you doing, dude? You can't make this like 4-hour, 5-hour friggin' movie. We can't do that." Well, then, damn it, we're going to release it in 2 parts. So that's what they did. They did a Superman 1, and it was a fine movie by itself. It wrapped up, but later they had to come back and use all of that footage from this huge, giant epic that he created. His name will come to me. He's the director that was responsible for early episodes of stuff in television, but he was the Lethal Weapon director. He directed all 4 Lethal Weapon movies. So if somebody could tell me who that guy was, I would. Richard Donner, is that him? He's also responsible for Goonies, right? I mean, what a phenomenal director. He's done so many of my favorite movies, right? In fact, a lot of those movies you can watch and see Richard Donner's motorhome parked off in the distance in a lot of scenes. In Goonies, there's a scene of them on the porch and this street that goes up in the neighborhood. It was filmed in Washington or Oregon or something. But there's the street in this neighborhood, heavily forested neighborhood there on the coast. And you can see this motorhome parked on the street, and it's the identical motorhome that you later see in Lethal Weapon, parked on a street in Hollywood, where Mel Gibson is jumping off a building, and they're up on this building talking, and he gives this guy a cigarette, and you look down on the street below, and there's Richard Donner's motorhome parked there again, and his motorhome pops up in various movies, you know. That must have been the place to hang out, I'm telling you. You know, them Hollywood guys, they love to, you know, They love to party. Even if the partying is just hanging out with a bunch of like-minded individuals bullshitting, right? I mean, what a scene that. It would be a fly on the wall in Hollywood during the making of one of these awesome fucking movies, you know, and to be there with, you know, Richard Donner and Mel Gibson and you know, whoever else is in the fucking area at the time. I mean, that's just cool shit, man. Here's a $20, kid. Run down and give me a pack of smokes. Gosh, thanks, Dick. Call me Richard, you little fucker. But everyone, shut up. All right, I don't condone physical violence or abuse, but there you go. Take that, you little crud. So, if you can see this little mark here, no, I didn't get myself a tattoo recently because I'm so forgetful, and I have been forgetful ever since I was a little kid. Got chucked out of a tree and landed on my head and split my skull open. Everything's been a little wonky ever since then, right? So I don't remember things too well. So I got lots of Post-its and stuff tacked around. I got little notepads. I've got entire notebooks filled with stuff that I cannot keep in my head because they just won't stay there, right? So I got this little note here. Ever since I was in high school, I think, I started writing little notes to myself there because I see my hands. I don't see anything else about me as much as I see my hands, right? I mean, if you're going to make a movie from somebody's point of view, right, the one thing that you're going to see the most of is their hands and maybe their feet and stuff, right? So I write notes here. This note, it's snake season, and I was, you know, scrolling through Facebook before or after loading up my link, because that's pretty much what I use Facebook for, is to you know, talk about what's going on in my world and to share links and stuff that's going on in the YouTube world here with me. So I was there poking around real quick. I don't like to spend a lot of time there scrolling, but I happened to see, and I don't read a lot. I just kind of, I'm kind of just take in the page, and if it's something that I need to know, then I'll look further. But usually I just look at it and glance and move on to the next thing and try to spend a couple of minutes and be done with it. And I saw a thing about snake removal, and it was like, oh, you know what? I need to get out into the yard. I have my eyeball tightened. I need to get out into the yard and clear out all of the corners and all of the stuff down low, so there's no places for snakes to hide. Just plain and simple. I need to deal with some possible snake issues, right? So there's that, and that's what this note is reminding me about. So without further ado, we are going to get into The Whistler, Notes in the Night, broadcast on CBS Radio, June 27th, 1942. Okay, so here we go with that, and without further ado, let's start the play.
Whistler.
I'm the Whistler.
I must kill Henry. I must kill Henry.
That was Ambrose Brent, official of an airplane plant. Found strange notes in the night.
You better get away, Ambrose. Take a good long rest. The sooner the better.
That was Henry Pierce, Ambrose's partner. He was growing fearful of Ambrose.
Get this prescription filled, Ambrose. It'll make you sleep. And you'd better get away.
And that was Ambrose's friend, Dr. Fenwick. And this is Ambrose's wife, Doris.
What's happened, Ambrose? Look at me. What have you done?
Another Saturday night, and again CBS presents The Whistler.
And I, the whistler, know many things, for I walk by night. I know many strange tales, many secrets hidden in the hearts of men and women who've stepped into the shadows. I know the nameless terrors of which they dare not speak. And so I tell you tonight the strange story of Notes in the Night. A storm rages wildly over the countryside. Beyond that long row of trees stands a lonely house half hidden in the darkness of the night. Not a single light appears from any of its many windows. But up there in that room with the large window, a man stirs fretfully in his sleep. The man is Ambrose Brent, an official of an airplane plant. But it's not the storm that stirs his uneasy slumber. It's something else, something far more sinister, something that has happened many times in the past few weeks. Now he stirs again, moans loudly, and suddenly sits bolt upright in his huge bed.
Who's there? Who's there, I say? It's funny. I swore I heard something. I swear I felt someone in the room.
Turn on the lamp, Ambrose. You'll see.
I can't imagine what's happening to me. It's just nerves, I guess. It's just... Good Lord. Another note. Another one. I must kill Henry. I must kill Henry. That's the third note this week in my own handwriting. I've got to do something. I've got to tell someone. Henry's my best friend. Oh, it's nerves. I know. I'll call Dr. Fenwick. Doc will know what's wrong. Fairchild 1834W. Yes.
Hello?
Is Dr. Fenwick in?
No, Dr. Fenwick isn't in. He can be reached at Walnut 2380.
Walnut 2380. That's Henry Pierce's number. I can't go there. If there's anything to this, I must stay away from Henry. I've got to see Doc Fenwick. Wait till morning.
Well, hello, Ambrose. Sit down. What's wrong?
Doc, I've got to talk with you.
Oh, of course, Ambrose. Why not? What's up?
Something's wrong with me. Terribly wrong.
Oh, yeah?
Read this note.
Note? I must kill Henry. Henry? I must kill Henry? I don't get it. What has this to do with your trouble?
I wrote it.
You did? Well, really? And why did you write it?
I don't know. I don't remember writing it, but I know it's in my own writing. And that's it.
Who's Henry?
Henry Pierce. Who else?
Have you been drinking, Ambrose?
Not a drop, I swear.
Well, look, old boy, you'd best sit down. Ah, that's better. Now, when did you write this?
I don't know. I found 6 notes just like that.
6? Where?
On the nightstand beside my bed.
Are you sure it's your writing?
Well, doesn't it look like it?
Yeah, certainly does. Tell me, how many hours have you been putting in at the plant lately?
Oh, too many.
I'd better give you a thorough going over, Ambrose.
But why should I write such notes?
I don't know. Mind plays queer tricks on us sometimes under undue strain. You'd better slow down. That's my best prescription. Take it easy. Get out of town as soon as possible.
Yes. Yes, I guess you're right.
And I'll give you something for your nerves.
Thanks. Doctor, you don't think I'm losing my mind, do you?
No, Ambrose. You're just terribly upset, that's all. Ah, yeah. Here's your prescription. You better get it filled tonight.
Thanks. I'll leave Saturday. You don't think there's anything wrong with me? Mentally, I mean.
If you're in town after Saturday night, I'll drag you out with my own 2 hands.
Good night, Doc.
Good night, Ambrose. Sleep tight. And don't think about anything.
Ambrose, why don't you take a little vacation?
What do you mean, Henry? Have you been talking to Doc Fenwick?
Fenwick?
Of course you have. He told you all about it.
About what?
I feel better than I've felt in years. I'm in excellent condition. Do you hear?
Certainly I hear. What's wrong with you, Ambrose?
Nothing.
If you act like this, I'll be forced to agree with Doc Fenwick.
What has he said?
He just said you were overworked.
Well, he doesn't know everything.
Ambrose, you'll please me very much if you'll take a little vacation.
Did Doc Fenwick tell you what was bothering me?
Yes, he did, Ambrose, and I think you'd better get away as soon as possible. Oh, I'm sorry, Ambrose, but don't worry. Everything will be all right.
Then you're not worried? You're not upset about it?
Certainly not. Why should I be?
Please believe me, Henry, I wouldn't do such a thing. I've never even thought of such a thing. I'd kill myself first. You do believe me, don't you?
Huh? Why, of course I do, of course.
I wouldn't kill you. I have no reason.
Shall I drive you home, Ambrose?
No, I'll get home. I'd better leave tomorrow, hadn't I? I'll go up to my place in the mountains. There's no one there. My wife has gone to Palm Beach.
Yes, Ambrose. You better leave tomorrow.
Yes. Doris will be back from Palm Beach in 3 weeks.
That'll be long enough. I'm sure you'll find things different when you return. Quite different.
Good night, Henry.
Goodbye, Ambrose. Sleep tight and don't think about anything.
Ambrose goes home and to bed. The clock ticks off the eerie hours. The clock chimes 2. And suddenly Ambrose stirs fretfully in his slumber. He wakes and again sits up staring into the inky blackness of his silent room. Turn on the light, Ambrose. Turn on the light.
Who is it? Who's there? Good Lord. Another one. I must kill Henry. Jameson! Jameson! I've got to get hold of myself. This is ridiculous. Jameson! I'm losing my mind. I must be.
Did you call me, sir?
Yes. Yes, I called you.
I thought I heard a scream.
A scream? No, What time is it?
It's long after midnight, sir. It's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock? Oh. Pack my bag. Order my plane to be ready in 30 minutes.
Where are you going, sir?
It doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
I've got to get away. I've got to. 2:15. I must get away. I must. I'm mad. I must be. Jameson! Jameson!
The car is at the door, sir.
Then come on with the bag.
Where are you going, sir?
I don't know where I'm going, Jameson. Understand?
Yes, sir. I understand.
Good night, Jameson.
Goodbye, sir.
Yes? Yes? Who is it? What do you want? Come in. Ambrose, is that you? What on earth are you doing here at 2:30 in the morning? What's wrong? I say, what's wrong with you?
I must kill Henry.
Ambrose, put up that gun. No, don't, Ambrose. Don't.
I must kill Henry.
Don't, you're mad. Don't come near me. Don't. Ambrose.
Operator, I want Dr. Fenwick in New York. Fairchild, 1834W. Please. It's Dr. Fenwick's residence. Make it person to person. This is Crust Line 142. I've got to talk to someone. I've got to. I can't stand this silence, this being alone. Hello? Oh. I see. No, never mind. I'll call tomorrow.
Put up your hands. Don't move.
Doris.
Ambrose.
What on earth? What are you doing here?
Why, what are you doing here?
I thought you were in Palm Beach. What are you doing up here in the mountains?
I changed my mind. I decided to come up here.
Why didn't you let me know?
I didn't think about it. I was going to phone you in the morning. Well, how did you find time to get away from the plant? I thought you were too busy to eat.
Well, I decided I needed to rest. So I...
It's an early hour to arrive. 5 a.m.
Is it? Well, you see, it occurred to me on the spur of the moment. I flew up. Well, what are you staring at?
I'm not staring, Ambrose. What's wrong? What's happened?
Nothing. I came up here because...
Because what? What are you talking about, Ambrose? Are you ill?
Yes. Yes, that's it. I'm ill, very ill. Yes. Get the doctor.
What doctor? There's no doctor near here.
Get Dr. Fenwick. He knows.
Dr. Fenwick?
He's the only one who knows. Except Henry.
Are you out of your mind?
No, I'm not. Do you hear? It's a lie. I'm not crazy. I won't be crazy. Oh, Doris, what's happened to me? What's happened? Oh, poor Henry.
Ambrose, look at me. What have you done? What have you done?
Let me alone. I'm going to bed. I want to get some sleep. I've done nothing. What's that? Wake up, Doris.
What?
That noise.
I didn't hear you.
I did. Hear it? There it is again. There's someone coming there. They are at the door.
There's no one.
You see? I'm not here. I haven't been here. You don't know where I am. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Doc, it's you.
Oh. Hello, Doris.
Hello, Doctor.
Did you get my call? You did, didn't you?
Now, Ambrose, take it easy. Everything's going to be all right. Don't get excited.
All right? What do you mean?
You've got a 50-to-1 chance to pull out of it.
Pull out?
Certainly. I know you're mentally upset. You have been for weeks. I'll swear to that. I have records. I'll appear on your side. You'll get out of it.
Out of it? Out of what?
You're not a killer.
Killer?
What did you say? What did you say?
I said you weren't a killer. I understand your case perfectly.
Henry is dead?
Yes. I'm sorry to say Henry is dead. He died about 2:30 in the morning, as closely as can be determined. From all indications, the police think he committed suicide.
But he didn't. You know he didn't.
He may have.
Then why did you come here?
I thought this is where you'd come, and I was right.
What does this mean, Doctor?
It means that if Henry's dead, I killed him. I must have.
Must have? Are you positive?
Yes, who else could it be? I've written notes to myself for weeks. This Doc knows. He knows all about it.
Do you?
Yes, but I didn't think it would come to this.
But why did you do such a thing? He was your best friend.
I know it. But if he's dead, I must have done it.
But why did you do it?
I don't know.
No, please, don't get upset. He wasn't responsible.
I am responsible. I did it. And I'm going back.
No, Ambrose. Stay here till I send for you. I'll have a talk with you.
No. I'm going back this morning.
I can't believe such a thing.
Doris, why do you look at me like that? Please. I don't know why I did it. Oh, Doris, don't you believe me?
I don't know. I don't know.
Tell her, Doc. Tell her.
Tell her what?
Tell her the truth. Tell her I didn't do it for a reason. Explain to her how it was. You know how it happened. Go on, tell her. Tell her.
Come now, old boy. This is not helping you.
What'll they do with me?
Why? Now, look, it's early yet. It's 9 o'clock. You'd better try to get some sleep in this afternoon. I'll take you back to the city and make arrangements for you to go someplace where you can have a nice rest.
What kind of a place?
Why, rest home. I know a nice, quiet place.
You don't mean a rest home. I know what you're thinking. You mean an asylum. You think I'm insane, both of you.
Now, Ambrose.
Well, why don't you say it?
Ambrose, if you don't control yourself, something will happen to you.
I won't go to an asylum. Do you hear? Do you hear me?
Stop it.
I won't stop it. You don't care about me. You're both cold and heartless. You want me to be locked up, both of you.
Ambrose, please. Please, calm down.
Keep away from him, Doris.
See? Keep away from him. He's a dangerous lunatic. A killer.
You don't calm down. I'll have to use force.
You try it. You just try it. I'm going out that door, and don't you try to stop me.
You you run away like this, you stamp yourself as a hopeless lunatic. They'll find you.
They won't find me, and I won't be locked up.
Ambrose, please.
No, I'll kill myself first.
You're a fool, Ambrose. A mad fool.
Now you've done it, Ambrose. You've really made a mess of things. You're a fugitive now. They'll throw out a dragnet. You'll have to run and hide and sneak, afraid of every shadow. You'll have to run, Ambrose. Hide and sneak and run for the rest of your days. Ambrose Brent, fugitive.
Henry's dead. Henry's dead. Henry's dead. Ambrose Brent, fugitive.
Ambrose Brent, 5 feet 8.
150 pounds.
Brown hair.
Blue eyes.
Wanted for murder.
Lunatic. Padded cell. Lunatic. Padded cell. Lunatic.
Hurry, Ambrose, hurry. More gas. Step on it.
What's that?
A sign, Ambrose, and a red flag swinging in the road. 2 men in black rubber coats. Too late to turn around now.
What's your hurry, mister?
Black rubber coats?
I'm pretty fast for a storm like this, ain't you?
Who are you? What do you want? State police. What are you stopping me for?
We're stopping everybody.
Why?
We're looking for someone.
Looking for someone? Who?
A fugitive.
A murderer?
We didn't say what he'd done. Let's have a look at your driver's license.
Driver's license? Why, that's funny. I must have...
left it in your other suit, huh? Step out. Let's have a look at you. Hey, you come back here. What's eating him? He must be nuts. Well, I could have plugged him, but I just shot in the air. Just as well. He wasn't Mike Coretti. Mike could make 2 of him.
Know where you are now? Recognize this room? That's right. It's the room of death, where Henry was murdered the night before. His body has been removed, but the pad on his desk is still there, smeared with a large brown stain. There are 5 people in the room: Dr. Fenwick and Doris Brent, Jameson the Brent's butler, Inspector Fields, and Carnes of the District Attorney's office. The inspector is speaking.
District Attorney Carnes had an appointment with Henry Pierce. It was he who discovered the body this morning. Pierce had been dead about 7 hours. Right, Mr. Carnes?
That's right, Inspector Fields.
We attempted to reach Mr. Brent and were told by Jameson, the butler, that he left town at 2 in the morning. He told us about the place in the mountains, and there we reached you, Mrs. Brent.
You've no idea where your husband is, Mrs. Brent?
Not the slightest.
The butler said you had gone to Palm Beach.
Yes, I started for Palm Beach, but I changed my mind and went to the mountains.
And your husband came there last night?
Yes, it was about 5 in the morning.
9 o'clock. I flew up to the cabin, got there a few minutes before 9.
Why did you go there, Doctor?
Well, I advised Ambrose to take a rest. He's been working too hard and was heading for a nervous breakdown. When I learned of Henry's death, I went to tell him about it.
Doctor, you visited Henry Pierce here last evening.
I did. He phoned me to come over. I got here about 11. He'd made a new will and wanted me to witness it and asked if I would serve as executor. I read it and signed it.
I see. In whose favor was the will drawn?
Well, the old will left everything to Ambrose. Henry had no living relative. But because of Ambrose's mental condition, he decided to leave everything to Doris, Mrs. Brent.
That's correct. I found the will on the desk.
Was Ambrose Brent your patient?
Yes, of course.
What was his trouble?
Too much work. He had a great responsibility.
Did you think he was losing his mind?
No.
Did he think so?
Well, he was terribly upset. He'd been having hallucinations.
Doctor, when was the last time you saw him prior to finding him in the mountains?
The evening before Henry died. I wrote him a prescription.
Mm-hmm. And where did you go after you left Henry Pierce last night?
I told my servants that I was going out of town for a holiday, but it was storming so when I left Henry that I decided to stay at my club.
Mrs. Brent, did your husband, Mr. Pierce, ever quarrel?
Not to my knowledge. They were the best of friends.
I see. Have you told us all you know, Dr. Fenwick?
No.
Then I think you should. What was it that bothered Ambrose Brent?
Well, he said he had been writing himself notes. They were all alike, in his own handwriting, and all said the same thing. I must kill Henry.
I didn't know this.
Certainly not. That was the patient's private business. I thought that if I could get him away for arrest, he'd pull out of it.
There you are, Carnes. Must have been on his mind.
Yes, but what's the motive?
An unbalanced mind doesn't always need a motive.
Then you think Ambrose did it?
He loved Henry like a brother. If he did it, he was completely out of his mind. Believe me.
Ambrose.
What? Well, thank heaven. You finally came to your senses.
Come in, Mr. Brent.
I suppose you want to see me?
I'm Inspector Fields, Police Department. This is Mr. Carnes of the District Attorney's Office.
Yes, I know Mr. Carnes.
I thought you'd gone on a little vacation, Mr. Brent.
I had gone, but not on a vacation.
Mr. Pierce told me you'd gone for a couple of weeks.
I was going on a vacation, but something changed my mind.
Oh? What was that?
You know. You know why I've come back. Henry's dead, and I killed him.
When did you kill him?
I don't know. Must have been last night.
Why did you do it?
I wish I knew. I recall neither the crime nor the motive. But I'm sure I did it.
Why are you so sure you did it?
Because of these notes, 6 of them. I've been writing notes to myself for weeks. Read them.
Are they in your own handwriting?
Certainly. But I don't remember writing a one. I must have some form of amnesia.
Hmm?
When I heard Henry was dead, I tried to run away. I couldn't stand the thought of an asylum, but the faster I ran, the more I hated myself, so I came back to get it over with. It's a great relief.
Now, Mr. Brent, compose yourself. Mr. Brent, did you know that Henry Pierce made a new will last night, leaving his estate to your wife?
What? Why should he do that?
Well, perhaps he was worried about you.
Of course. Why shouldn't he be? He knew I was acting strangely.
Take a look at this will. Is that Henry's signature?
Certainly.
You're sure it isn't your writing?
It is not. I couldn't copy his signature if I tried. It's just a bunch of scrawls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mr. Brent, take this pad and write on it, I must kill Henry.
Please, isn't that being a bit brutal?
Go ahead, write it.
There you are.
Good. Now write the date.
They weren't dated.
Well, write it anyway. Write the date in numerals. Don't name the month.
There it is.
Thank you. Now you write the same, Mrs. Brent.
There.
Thanks. Now you, Dr. Fenwick.
There you are.
Mm-hmm. Well, the notes you got were certainly in your own handwriting, Mr. Brent.
I told you that. Why waste so much time? I came back to get it over with. I'm tired.
There. You need some sleep, old man. You'll feel better after you had a nap.
I can't sleep. I haven't slept for days.
You should have. You've been taking that medicine I gave you.
I didn't get it. I didn't want to sleep. I just wanted to get away. Here's the prescription, still in my pocket.
Prescription? May I see it, please? Thank you. What is this medicine, Doctor?
It's intended to induce sleep, but he's so stubborn he wouldn't take it. If he had, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh. Inspector, take a look at this note written just now by Mr. Brent.
I must kill Henry.
And the date.
5/14/42.
May the 14th, 1942. Now, Mrs. Brent's note.
I must kill Henry. 5/14/42. The same.
Mm-hmm. And now Dr. Fenwick's.
I must kill Henry. 14/5/42.
And now read the date on the will.
14/5/42. What does that mean? There aren't 14 months.
And now look at the date on this prescription.
14/5/42. Well, I'll be darned. What does it mean?
It means that Dr. Fenwick was educated in Europe, where they indicate the day of the month first, then the month. The 14th day of the 5th month.
What? Well, you're crazy. Are you accusing me of this?
It means that the doctor, not Henry, wrote this will, and if he wrote the will, he must have killed Henry Pierce. And if he killed Henry, he must have had a motive. and I've guessed that motive.
You're out of your mind. What motive would I have?
You also wrote those notes and left them for Ambrose to find. You're an expert at handwriting, Dr. Fenwick. You figured that Ambrose would be declared insane, and Henry's as well as Ambrose's property would go to Doris with you as executor in complete control.
I don't believe it. Ridiculous.
And this is what I hate to say at this moment, but I think it's true. Dr. Fenwick, tell him about you and Mrs. Brent.
That's a lie.
Tell him, Doctor. That's what's back of the whole thing. You're stuck. You might as well tell him.
All right. All right, I wrote the will. I wrote the notes. I am in love with Doris. I have been for years. She was in love with me.
Doris.
I'm sorry, Aunt.
But she had nothing to do with Henry's death. Not a thing. I came here that night disguised as Ambrose. Henry didn't hear my voice. I only whispered. He thought it was you. That's all. Sorry, Doris.
Stop it!
Good Lord. Well, the doctor is dead.
The doctor's dead, yes. But that's not all, not quite. There's something troubling the inspector, and you, Ambrose, and you too, Doris. How was it that Mr. Carnes first got wise to the doctor? How did the doctor slip up? How did he show his hand? I know. And so does District Attorney Carnes. Go ahead, Mr. Carnes. Tell us.
Well, the doctor said he had gone to the cabin to tell Ambrose of Henry's death. He arrived at the cabin at 9 a.m. I didn't discover the body till 10 a.m. and gave strict orders that it was not to be announced until we'd inspected everything thoroughly. Therefore, the only way the doctor could have known about the murder was to have been present when it happened.
So you see, the doctor didn't go to the cabin to inform Ambrose. He went there to meet Doris. And when he was surprised by Ambrose, he used the death of Henry as an excuse for his coming.
CBS has presented The Whistler. Original music for this production was composed and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. Tonight's Whistler story was written and directed by J. Donald Wilson and originated from Columbia Square in Hollywood. Next week, same time.
All right. Good morning again, weirdos. Look, I'm going to let this roll into the next program to save time because we're running a little short this morning, and I like to have a little more conversation before we go. Well, the show goes till 8 a.m. this morning, and we've got another show to go after this. X-1.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in 1,000,000 could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction, presents X minus 1. Tonight's story, Ray Bradbury's tale, The Veldt.
This is the office of Dr. David McLean, resident psychiatrist of the new Chicago Institute of Human Engineering.
All right, Miss Carver, will you take this, please? To Charles S. Haworth, Senior Psychiatrist, New Chicago Institute of Human Engineering. The following constitutes my report on the case of George and Lydia Abbott, which we discussed by telephone. Subject George relates onset of symptoms to the purchase of a $60,000 soundproofed Happy Life home. Under narcosynthesis during initial interviews, subject described the experience in the following manner. Miss Carver, would you play back the sonic record of the initial interview?
We'd always wanted one, and then we could afford it, so...
Go on, Mr. Abbott. Tell me about the home.
The home. Well, it was supposed to do everything, the agent told us. And it did, I guess. It clothed us, fed us, and rocked us to sleep, played and sang, and it was good to us. Very good, sure.
Tell me about the nursery.
The nursery? The nursery, ah.
It was completely automatic?
Completely automatic. There were crystalline walls that wavered from 2 to 3 dimensions. There were pseudo-textured floors that shifted from brick to dirt to waving grass. The nursery was the best, but then we wanted the best for the children. Doctor, I must be crazy. We have no children.
What about Peter and Wendy? They're your children.
Oh, no. We have no children, Doctor. We have no children.
All right, Miss Carver. To continue. After 3 sessions, the subject was able to recall and accept the idea that he had 2 children. He described the first day.
All right, Peter and Wendy. This is your nursery.
What's so special about a nursery, Dad?
Plenty. Just go in and see.
Do we have to?
You'll be surprised.
Gee.
Go ahead.
I'm scared. I'm not. Hey, it's nice in here. It is? Come on in, Wendy. Boy, look at the pictures on the walls. They're real.
They're almost real. You can change them any way you like, just by thinking about it.
Go on in, dear.
Well, all right, Mommy. Hey, Wendy, look what I can do with the pictures. That's the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Sure. I just thought about it, and there it was. Let me try. Peter, let me try. Well, go ahead. Just think. How about Wizard in Oz? I want to see Wizard in Oz.
Well, dear, there we are.
Oh, they like it, don't they?
Why shouldn't they? All I have to do is think, and they've got whatever they want in 3 dimensions. Color, sound, and smell.
Oh, it's nice that we can give them all the advantages.
Sure. What else are we working for, huh? Well, what do you want to do this evening?
Well, the Petersons asked us over for bridge, but if you...
we don't have to worry about the kids. They'll be all right in the nursery. Come on, Lydia. We deserve a night out.
And in the nursery, the walls were a kaleidoscope of time and space and imagination. The green forest of Sherwood and the quiet forms of Robin and his merry men gave way to the roll of the high seas and the smell of salt in the air as Sir Henry Morgan sailed into the harbor at Jamaica. And behind the crystalline quartz walls, the vacuum tubes and grids and banks of metal image tape spun quietly and efficiently, erasing the line between illusion and reality. Of course, the electric bill from Consolidated Utilities was tremendous, but it was worth it. The Happy Life home breathed contentedly as life proceeded with soft automaticity as guaranteed in the brochure and bill of sale.
George.
Hmm?
George, I wish you'd look at the nursery.
What's wrong with it?
I don't know.
I was in the nursery last week. It's perfectly all right.
It's different now.
What do you mean, different?
I want you to come and see.
Are the kids there?
No. Madge Allen took them to a show along with her kids. That's why I want you to look at it now, before they get back.
Oh, all right.
What you expect me to do, I don't know. I'm no mechanic.
This isn't a question of a leaky faucet, George.
All right, dear, I'm coming.
The nursery light flicked on as they came down the hall. The relays clicked and the tubes warmed and chemical odor banks and pipes bubbled into life as they paused before the closed door.
Go ahead, George. Open it.
On all sides, in 3 dimensions, stretched the hot, tired landscapes of an African veldt reproduced to the last stick and pebble and bit of straw. The ceiling above them became a sky with a hot yellow sun. A wind blew in from the baked veldtland. The hot straw smell of lion grass. The cool green smell of the hidden waterhole. The great rusty smell of animals. The howl of the jackal in the distance. And the papery rustling of the great vultures that wheeled and circled under the yellow burning sun.
Let's get out of this, son. It's a little too real.
Oh, George, you promised you'd look around.
Well, I don't see anything.
Wait a minute. There are the vultures.
Filthy creatures.
There are the lions. Far over that way.
Yes, I see them.
They're on their way to the waterhole. They've just eaten.
It's some animal. A zebra or a baby giraffe, maybe.
Can you see it? Are you sure?
It's a little late to be sure. Nothing over there but clean bone and the vultures swooping down for what's left.
Did you hear that scream?
What scream?
About a moment ago.
Sorry, no.
Oh, here come the lions. George, they're frightening.
Take it easy, Lydia. They're just illusion.
The lions were 15 feet away. So real, so startlingly real, you could feel the prickling fur on your hand, and your mouth was stuffed with the dusty upholstery smell of their heated pelts. And the yellow of them was in your eyes like the yellow of an exquisite tapestry. The yellows of lions and summer grass, and the sound of the matted lion lungs exhaling on the silent noontide, and the smell of meat from the panting, dripping mouth.
George, I'm afraid they're so real.
They're only an illusion, Lydia, that's all.
Watch out! Ah!
Out, quick, outside.
They almost got us.
Now, take it easy. Calm down.
I could feel their breath.
Get a hold of yourself, Lydia. They aren't real. Walls, that's all it is. Crystalloid walls.
They look so real.
Of course they do. But it's all dimensional color reactionary process and metal tape film behind glass screens. It's all odorophonics and sonics. Now, here, take my handkerchief.
I'm afraid. Did you see? Did you feel it? It's too real.
No, Lydia.
And we've got to tell Wendy and Peter not to read any more on Africa.
Of course, dear.
I want you to lock that place up.
But you know how difficult Peter is about that. I punished him last week by locking the nursery for an afternoon, and he threw a tantrum. And Wendy, too. Well, they live for the nursery.
It's got to be locked. That's all there is to it.
You've been working too hard, Lydia. You need a rest.
I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough to do. I have too much time to think. All I do is set the menu selector dials at the beginning of the week.
But that's the whole idea. The house is automatic.
I know, but couldn't we turn it off for about a week and take a vacation?
You mean you want to fry eggs for me?
And darn socks. I feel like I don't belong here. The house is wife and mother and maid. How can I compete with the African velts? George, those lions can't get out of there, can they?
Of course not, dear. Now, don't think about it anymore.
They ate alone. He sat idly watching the dining room table produce warm dishes of food from its mechanical interior.
You forgot the ketchup. That's better.
It wouldn't hurt to lock the children out of the nursery for a while. It was clear that they had been spending too much time in Africa. That sun, he could feel it on his neck still, like a hot paw. And the lions and the smell of blood. Remarkable how the nursery caught the telepathic emanations of the children's minds and created a life to fulfill their desires. The children thought zebras, and there were zebras. Sun, sun. Giraffes, giraffes. Death, and death. They were so young. But long before you knew what death was, you were wishing it on someone else. But this, the long, hot African veldt, the awful death in the jaws of a lion, and repeated again and again and again. The children came home dutifully at 8:30.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Pop.
Hello, darlings. Do you want something to eat, dear? We're just having dessert.
We're full of strawberry ice cream. And hot dogs. We'll just sit and watch.
Sure. Peter, tell us about the nursery.
The nursery?
All about Africa and everything.
I don't understand.
Well, your mother and I were just traveling through Africa with rod and reel.
There's no Africa in the nursery.
Oh, come now, Peter. We know better.
I don't remember any Africa. Do you, Wen? Go run and see, huh?
Sure. I'll be right back.
Wendy, come back here. Wendy!
Oh, she'll be right back, Pop.
She doesn't have to. I've seen it. Come on.
Sure, Pop, but Wendy'll tell us.
Open the door.
See, Daddy? It's not Africa. It's Florida. Like in Bambi.
There go the deer. See? It isn't Africa.
I see it isn't. Go to bed.
But it isn't 9 o'clock.
You heard me. Go to bed.
Okay. Good night, Mom. Good night, Pop.
Good night.
Good night, dear. I'll be right in.
Wait a minute, Lydia. Look at this.
What is it?
This is the corner where the lions were, isn't it?
What is that you picked up?
An old wallet of mine. There's a smell of hot grass on it. The smell of a lion. It's wet with saliva. And it's been chewed.
George, those smears of blood.
Come on out. Now let's go to bed.
But in the middle of the night, he was still awake, and he knew his wife was awake.
George, how did your wallet get in the nursery?
I don't know. Wendy must have changed the walls from the African veldt. I'm going to keep it locked. Maybe it isn't good for the children. My father used to say children are like carpets. They should be stepped on occasionally. We've never lifted a hand. They're spoiled and we're spoiled. I think I'll have Dr. McLean come tomorrow morning and have a look at Africa.
But it isn't Africa now. It's Florida and Bambi.
I have a feeling it'll be Africa again before then.
Although their automatic somno beds tried very hard, the two adults could not be rocked to sleep for another hour. A smell of cats was in the night air. And in the morning, the stove cooked French toast, and the dining room table poured the syrup and melted butter.
Pop,
Yes?
you aren't going to lock up the nursery for good, are you?
That all depends.
On what?
On you and your sister.
We feel you should have some variety, dear.
I wouldn't want the nursery locked up ever.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're thinking of turning the whole house off for about a month. Sort of camping out.
Be fun for a change. Now, don't you think so, Wendy?
No, it'd be awful.
I don't want to do anything but look and listen and smell. What else is there to do?
Oh, all right, all right. Go play in Africa.
Are you going to shut off the house soon?
We're considering it.
I don't think you better consider it any more, Pop.
I won't have any threats from you, son.
Okay, Pop. Come on, Wendy. Let's get back.
After breakfast, Dr. David McLean arrived.
Oh, I saw the nursery last year, George. It looked all right to me.
You didn't notice anything unusual?
No. The patterns showed the usual violence, a tendency towards slight paranoia. All children feel persecuted by their parents. It's perfectly normal.
There it is.
Suppose we take a look at it now.
They entered without knocking and sent the children out. The screams had faded and the lions were feeding quietly under the trees.
I wish I could see what they're eating.
How long has this been going on?
A little over a month.
Certainly doesn't feel good.
I don't want feelings. I want facts.
George, a psychologist never saw a fact in his life. He knows about feelings. And this doesn't feel good. Now, my advice to you is to have the whole room torn down and your children brought to me every day for the next year for treatment.
Is it that bad?
I'm afraid so. You know, that's why the nursery was developed originally, to let us examine the patterns left on the wall by a child's mind.
But what is it? What's wrong with Peter and Wendy?
It's hard to say.
I haven't punished them more than average. Oh, I took away a few gadgets. Last week, I locked the nursery to show I meant business.
You've let this room replace you and your wife in your children's affections. This room is their real father and mother. And now you come along and want to shut it. Well, you can feel the hatred coming out of that sky. George, turn everything off. The nursery, the automatic kitchen, the whole automatic house. Start now.
But won't the shock be too much for the children?
I don't want them going any deeper. Let's get out of here. I never liked these rooms. They get me nervous.
Those lions look real, don't they? I don't suppose there's any way...
What?
That they could become real.
Not that I know.
Some flaw in the machinery, tampering?
No.
I don't imagine the room will like being turned off.
Nothing ever likes to die, even a room.
I wonder if it hates me for turning it off.
Paranoia is thick today. Well, hello. Is this your scarf? It's stained. Brown. Blood.
That's Lydia's. Come on, the main fuse box is out here.
Right, go ahead. Pull the switch.
Yeah. It's off.
The two children were in hysterics. They screamed and...
We seem to be experiencing
They
technical
yelled and sobbed and
difficulties.
swore and jumped on the furniture, weeping.
It's off and it stays off. The whole house dies as of now.
He marched around the house, cutting switches and pulling fuses.
Don't let them do it. Don't let Pop kill everything. I hate you. I hate you.
Insults won't get you anywhere.
I wish you were dead.
We were for a long while. Now we're going to start really living. Instead of being handled and massaged, we're going to live.
Once more, Daddy. Just once more. One more minute of the nursery, that's all. Just one more minute.
Oh, George, it can't hurt, really.
Oh, all right, only shut up. 1 minute, and that's the end. Forever.
Gee, thanks, Pop. Thanks.
And then we're going on a vacation. Dr. McLean is coming in half an hour to help us out. Lydia, turn on the nursery for just a minute.
Oh, boy. Come on, Wendy. Come on. Thanks, Daddy. Thanks a lot.
Just 1 minute, remember? Now, where'd I put those suitcases? Lydia!
Don't shout, George. I'm right here.
Did you leave them alone in the nursery?
Well, I've got to get ready, George.
Well, I guess we'd better get them out of there before they get involved with those beasts again.
Pop! Pop, come here! Daddy! Mommy!
Come on, quick.
Wendy! Peter! What's the matter?
Hurry up. Open the nursery. Wendy! Peter!
They aren't anywhere. Wendy? Peter?
Peter! The door. Open the door. They've locked it from the outside. Peter!
Peter! Wendy! Peter! Open the door, dear!
Let us out, Peter! Open the door. It's time to go. Open the door!
George! The lions!
Peter, do you hear me? Open this door!
They're all around us, George!
Son! Son, do you hear me? Let us out! Son!
George! Look out! The lions! They're coming!
When Dr. David McLean came, half hour later, he found the two children in the nursery sitting in the center of the open glade eating a picnic lunch. Beyond them was the waterhole and the yellow veldland. Above was the hot sun. At a distance, Dr. McLean saw the lions fighting and clawing and then settling down to feed in silence under the shady trees.
Hi, kids. Where are your mom and dad?
Oh, they'll be here directly.
Good. We've got to get along.
He squinted at the lions with his hands up to his eyes. Now they were done feeding, and they moved to the waterhole to drink. A shadow flickered as the vultures dropped down from the blazing sky to finish what the lions left.
Dr. McLean? Dr. McLean?
Huh? What?
Have a cup of tea?
Which concludes my report to date. There were no lions, of course. Not in a physical sense. Lydia and George were devoured, however, almost as surely as if there had been lions. Their personalities were devoured by the mechanistic marvels which had usurped their role as parents. All four members of the family are under intensive therapy now and are doing as well as can be expected. Send that by telerope, Miss Carver. Oh, and would you ask George Abbott to step inside? I'm ready for him now.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Street and Smith, publishers of astounding science fiction. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you The Veldt, written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were Mary Patton, Bill Quinn, David Pfeffer, Beverly Lunsford, Charles Penman, and John Larkin. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Dan Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Hey, that was pretty cool. I dig that show. That is my favorite show of all time, old-time radio. Well, we're going to continue with the broadcast here this morning. Whistler Notes in the Night, we actually got to hear. We got to hear Gildersleeve at the beginning of the show. And now we are going to do our last old-time radio show for the day. And this is Inner Sanctum Mystery, the amazing death of Mrs. Putnam.
Hello. Oh, there you are. I was afraid for a moment that you had forgotten our appointment. Why, you almost scared me to death. And that won't do after all the pains I've taken to scare you. You remember me, don't you? I'm your host on behalf of the makers of Carter's Pills. And you're to be my guest tonight in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. Come in, friends, won't you? Thank you. Take that chair to the fire. Good. And you'll become accustomed to the dim lights in a moment. Don't get too comfortable, because we'll have you out of that chair with thrills and chills, shivers and quivers. You're on our side, aren't you? You'd better be. But don't worry. Instead of the arch criminals haunting us, we're going to haunt them. We're going to scare the daylights out of them. Yes. Welcome, then, friends. Welcome to the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. And listen to as weird and strange a tale as ever was told. The amazing death of Mrs. Putnam. The night is dismal. A light shines uncertainly in the room of a large, gloomy mansion. Suddenly, a sobbing, hysterical woman slams the door shut, rushes to the telephone.
Get the police, quick. The police. Quiet, Will. Oh, hurry. Please, hurry. Hello?
Hello? Police department?
This is Mrs. Putnam.
You've got to save me from them. They'll kill me.
Put that telephone down.
Help! They're going to kill me. I'm being murdered.
Where are you?
Oh, they're killing me. Help!
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello, operator. This is Jeff Hansen, police headquarters. Trace the call that just came through to us. Hurry.
That's funny, Jeff.
Did you hear what I heard, Porky?
I sure did, unless we're both having the same dream.
Hold it, Porky. Yes? Yes, operator. Hansen, Jeff Hansen. You have? That's swell. Write this down, Porky.
Yes, sure.
Yes? The Putnam House, Maple Street. Thank you very much.
The Putnam House?
Yeah.
Hey, that's the first time in centuries we've heard that name in the police department.
Come on, Porky. Someone in that house is in great danger. We've got to get there, and quickly. Put your foot all the way down on the gas.
Oh, what's all the excitement, Jeff? It's just another murder case or something. We get 'em wholesale.
Maybe you're right, Porky.
You're too jumpy lately, Jeff. What's the matter with you?
Oh, nothing. Just on edge.
You ought to get married. Then you'd have so many other troubles you wouldn't have time to think of yourself. You know, everybody should get married. At least once.
Especially you, Porky.
Well, I'd get married tomorrow if I knew a girl who'd love me for myself alone.
Keep your eyes on the road, Miss Advice to the Lovelorn.
All right. I forgive you for the crack. Now, look, Jeff. You and me is a great detective. Only you can solve everything but the mysteries of the heart. So what does nature do? Nature endows me with the wisdom which you ain't got in that department. Ain't nature wonderful? Sending me to straighten out your amours. Now, first of all, you gotta learn to treat love light.
This is Maple Street, Porky.
Oh, okay. I'll take up the lessons in love where I left off later.
Pull up, Miss Lovelorn. Here we are. Let's go.
All right, Jeff. It's a pretty old house. Ain't exactly a haunted place, but a ghost could feel at home here.
Don't be silly. This house is fairly modern. What are you muttering about?
I'm counting the stairs. Didn't you teach me to observe everything? 7, 8, 10.
Now remember, keep your eyes open and your mouth shut.
You know how reliable I am, Jeff.
Yeah, I do.
Yes?
We're from police headquarters.
One moment, please. You can't come in like that.
It's all right, Williamson.
Yes, Miss Lois.
Come in, please.
Thank you, miss. My name is Jeff Hansen. This is poor Ed Lamb, better known as Porky.
I'm Lois Putnam.
How you doing, Miss Putnam?
Did you say you were from police headquarters?
Yes?
That's odd. How did you find out so soon?
We had a telephone call.
From whom?
It was a woman. I believe she said her name was Putnam.
What? Oh, no. When did you get this call?
Only a few minutes ago. The woman screamed that she was being murdered. She cried out for help.
Oh, no. What in heaven's name are you talking about? My aunt is dead.
Dead?
Yes. She died 2 hours ago.
Her name was Mrs. Putnam?
Yes, Martha Putnam.
You say your aunt died 2 hours ago?
Yes.
But we received a phone call for help only 20 minutes ago.
That's impossible. Are you sure the call came from here?
It was traced to your number. Besides, I believe the woman said her name was Mrs. Putnam. Isn't that right, Porky?
It sounded like it.
This is some idiot's idea of humor. The poor woman has been dead more than 2 hours.
Lois, you should rest. You haven't closed your eyes.
I will, Doctor. These men are from police headquarters.
Oh?
This is Dr. Holloway.
Doctor?
Detective Hansen, did you say?
Jeff Hansen. This is Ed Lamb.
Hi, Doc.
Were the police informed of your aunt's death, Lois?
They traced a strange phone call back to this house, Doctor. Somebody screamed for help.
From this house?
Yes.
Then why didn't we hear it?
Perhaps we made a mistake. However, we're forced to sort of look around. Please forgive us, Miss Putnam.
Do whatever you like.
Thank you.
Perhaps you'd better lie down, Lois.
I'll be all right.
Porgy, I want you to make a thorough search of the house and don't let anything go unnoticed.
You betcha.
Oh, Doctor.
Yes. Be back in a moment, Lois. What is it?
If you don't mind, Doctor, I'd...
Do you wish to ask me questions?
Please.
But all right.
What caused Mrs. Putnam's death?
The causes of her death were quite natural. A blood clot lodged itself in the veins of her heart. You may have heard it called coronary thrombosis.
How many members are there in the family?
Well, there's Lois and Mrs. Putnam's brother. He's very ill, and his sight is failing.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, there's Joel Adams, the gardener. He lives in the back of the garden. He and the butler have been with Mrs. Putnam for years.
Would you mind, Doctor, if I looked at Mrs. Putnam?
If you wish, just follow me.
A fascinating mystery, friends? A strange telephone call late at night. A woman screams for help, a dog barks, 2 shots ring out, and then the police dash to the house and find that the woman died of natural causes 2 hours earlier. Riddle me that, my friend. Oh, have no fear, for the day of ghost-like voices from the dead and the day of superstition is past. Or is it? We shall see. We shall see.
This way, Mr. Hanson.
Thank you. Why do you keep this door locked?
Oh, simply to avoid any scenes. They're all so high-strung.
Oh. What's the matter with your hand, Doctor?
You mean this bandage?
Hurt yourself?
Well, just clumsiness. While cutting some gauze, I snipped my hand. It bled rather profusely.
I'm sorry for all this inconvenience, but in my business, it's wisest to check on everything.
I understand. You wish to examine the body more thoroughly?
No. No, I don't think so. She looks rather natural for a corpse. There we go.
Yes.
May I see the butler now?
Yes, this Castle will bring him in just a few moments.
After I see him, I'd like to talk to the others, too.
Oh, you'll be tactful with Lois, won't you? She's quite broken up. She was attached to the old lady.
Of course.
Did you ring for me, Dr. Holloway?
Yes, Williamson. Detective Hanson wishes to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll take a look at Lois.
Quite all right, Doctor?
Excuse me.
Your name is Williamson, I gathered.
Yes, sir.
How long have you been working for Mrs. Putnam?
32 years.
A long time, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
By the way, did you hear any odd noises or screaming this evening?
No, sir.
You did hear 2 shots, though, didn't you?
No, sir.
You're not frightened, are you, Williamson?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am. This house isn't what it seems on the outside.
Oh?
No, it's full of hatred. Everyone hated Mrs. Putnam, and she hated all of us. The Lord found vengeance. She didn't deserve to live. There wasn't a kind thought in her head.
Who killed her?
The devil took her.
Who fired those 2 shots?
Lightning struck twice.
Where is the dog?
In Hades with his mistress.
Don't think you're fooling me, Williamson, by avoiding my questions. Take me to Mr. Putnam's room.
Yes, sir. It's right here. He's very ill, though. Shall I knock?
No. No, you may go.
Yes, sir. Who is it?
I'm sorry to intrude. Are you Mr. Putnam?
Who are you?
Detective Hanson, police headquarters.
Oh, the police, eh? What are you doing in my house?
I thought the house belonged to your sister.
It belongs to me now. What business is it of yours? Who else would you leave everything to?
Mr. Putnam, did anything unusual happen to your sister earlier this evening? I mean, has she been ill?
Cat was never ill in her life.
Would there be any reason for anyone murdering her?
Murder? I don't know. Maybe. She's hurt each and every one of us. She ruined Lois' life by sending her fiancé away many years ago. She made me into the wreck I am with her cruel tongue and her devilish disposition. She was responsible for the death of the gardener's wife long ago. Hasn't done a kind thing in her life. If she's been murdered, then I say good riddance.
Is it possible that all of you had given her cause to treat you that way?
Don't you dare say that. You stupid, foolish maniac. You didn't know her. How dare you? Get out of my room. Get out of my house. Get out of my...
I'm sorry, Mr. Putnam. I didn't mean to upset you. I'll go now.
Jeff. Hey, Jeff.
Yes, Porky?
Hey, I've been looking for you.
Yes?
Yeah, I've been all over the house. I checked on everything. 15 rooms, 19 windows, 8 beds, 3 fireplaces, and 3 bathrooms.
And nothing looked suspicious?
No.
You think maybe there is some mistake, Jeff?
I don't know. A phone call being traced here is absolute. They never make a mistake. But her voice and her death almost 2 hours before we got the call makes it strange. Must confess I'm stumped.
Did you talk to everyone?
I'd like to talk to the gardener, but right now we'll pretend that everything's all right, that we made a mistake. We'll drive away and then come back later.
You mean you really ain't thoroughly convinced?
That's right, Porky. I've got a hunch that we're up against a case that's stranger than any we've ever known or heard of. Get in the car, Porky, and don't look back.
Right, Jeff.
I don't want them to think that we're even slightly suspicious. They may be watching us from the window. Throw on your lights and get the car started.
Yep.
Porky.
What, Jeff?
Don't move. Just look over there.
Where?
Right straight in the beam of the light.
Well, I don't see... Oh, you mean?
In the garden. That mound of earth.
Looks kind of fresh.
Right.
Holy Mazuma. You think maybe somebody's buried under there?
We'll soon find out. Drive the car down a few blocks. We'll come back on foot and very quietly.
Jumping catfish, Jeff.
Not so loud, Porky. Don't hit the rock. Just loosen it.
How much deeper are we going to dig, Jeff?
The earth is still soft. We haven't reached what we're after.
What are we after?
We'll know soon enough.
You think the old lady might be buried here and the body in the house of somebody else?
I don't know.
Hey, Jeff.
Huh?
Jeff, I hit something firm with my shovel. Feels like a body.
All right. Don't use the shovel anymore. We'll dig with our heads. Porky, you're right. It is a body.
Yeah, it feels like it's wrapped up in a rug of some kind.
All right. Get a grip on it. We'll pull it up.
Okay.
Let's go. It's the dog.
The dog we heard barking on the phone.
Then there were shots, and that woman's voice did come from this house. They killed the dog and the woman, too.
Are you completely mystified? Wondering about the strange death of Mrs. Putnam? And what will happen next? Well, there's no need to be frightened. We know how old-fashioned it is to stop like this suddenly and leave you in midair wondering about the outcome of the story. Oh, are you in midair? Good. Good. But we assure you everything will come out all right. We won't let you down. And this is as good a time as any to remind you of someone else who won't let you down. The makers of Carter's Little Liver Pills. When you don't feel good, try Carter's Little Liver Pills. They do the work of calomel, but have no calomel in them. For they are simple pills made of vegetable drugs. They wake up the flow of one of our most vital digestive juices. When this vital juice flows at the rate of 2 pints a day, it helps to digest our food and bring back the glorious feeling that goes with regularity. Then most folks feel like happy days are here again. But be sure you get the genuine Carter's Little Liver Pills. Now let's solve tonight's inner sanctum mystery. Where were we? Oh, yes. Jeff and Porky had just unearthed the body of a dog.
The dog we heard barking on the phone.
Then there were shots, and that woman's voice did come from this house. They killed the dog and the woman, too.
Oh, I just swallowed a lump that had nails on it, Jeff.
Quick, Porky, down.
Hey, what's the idea? Throw me right into...
Shh. Someone came to the window.
Yeah, but you didn't have to throw me right into the grave.
Sorry. Here, I'll help you out. They've left the window. Now, look, you stay here, Porky. I'm going in to talk to the gardener. You watch the house. I'll be right back.
Hey, you ain't gonna leave me here with this dead dog, are you?
Shh, quiet.
What do you want?
I'm from police headquarters. You better let me in.
What do you want?
I want some information about that dog that was buried in your garden.
You're crazy.
Who buried it there?
There's no dog in my garden.
Was there a dog in the house?
I don't know.
You'd better answer my questions, Mr. Adams, unless you prefer going to jail.
I don't know anything.
Who killed Mrs. Putnam?
Everybody. Everybody hated her.
What do you mean by that?
Everyone in that house wanted her to die. Her brother cursed her. Williamson might have poisoned her.
What about you?
Me? I didn't hate her anymore. She promised to leave all her money to me.
Oh? Why?
Well, it was her only sign of repentance.
Why, no other reason?
None that might be your business.
Did you hear any shots from the house this evening?
I was away.
Jeff!
What is it, Porky?
Hey, come quick, Jeff.
What's happened?
I had a brainstorm. Hurry, Jeff, hurry, come on.
You'd better not leave your house, Mr. Adams.
I'll be here.
What's up, Porky?
The windows.
Huh?
While I'm out here watching the house, I casually count everything. The stairs again. I count the colored bricks and the large bricks, and then I count the windows. Count them, Jeff.
What are you driving at?
Count them. Come on, walk around the house.
Huh?
Count them.
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 17, 19, 20. 20 windows. What? Great galloping ghost. 20 windows on the outside, and you said you counted...
19 on the inside.
That means that there's one window camouflaged on the inside. There must be a room within a room. Come on, Porky. We're going back inside that house. Only this time uninvited and unseen.
You think maybe the room is up around here, Jeff?
Just keep trying, Porky. Run your fingers over every inch of wall and furniture.
Yeah.
You got something?
Heart failure. I got a splinter in my finger. Why did I ever...
Shh, quiet, Porky. I think I've got it.
No kidding?
Get over here. Have your gun ready? There's a little knob here in back of the bookcase. I think it will swing the bookcase open and lead us into another room. Here goes. Look out, Porky.
You've come to kill me, but I'll kill you first. I'll kill you if you come near me.
We haven't come to kill anyone. Who are you?
I'm Mrs. Putnam.
What?
Mrs. Put... Jeff, there's the ghost we needed to top off everything.
Light a match, Porky.
Oh, there's a candle over there, Jeff.
All right, light it and bring it over here.
Okay.
How do we know that you're telling the truth, that you are Mrs. Putnam?
Heaven knows I am. But I wish I was someone else. I've gone through so much.
If you are Mrs. Putnam, then who is the dead woman downstairs?
The dead woman?
Yes.
She's my cook. She took suddenly ill and died earlier this evening.
Your cook?
I can prove to you that I'm Mrs. Putnam.
How?
My signature. I signed a new will tonight. They forced me to will everything to them. Oh, you must believe me.
We'll check on that. Was there any shooting in the house this evening?
Yes. They shot my dog while the poor creature was trying to protect me. I called the police to help me. I thought they meant to kill me, but instead they brought me up here to face a living death.
We're the police. If you are Mrs. Putnam, then we're here to help you.
Thank heaven you don't know how they tortured me to make me write a new will.
You say the new will leaves everything to
Yes,
them?
yes.
In that event, it will be a simple matter to trap them and for you to prove yourself. Have you got the old will?
No, they destroyed it.
Well, it doesn't matter. You'll tell me the contents of the old will. They'll give themselves away when they hear it read. And now, Mrs. Putnam, about those who tortured you. Who are they? I'm grateful to all of you for not objecting to my presence at the reading of this will.
Well, having you here, Detective Hanson, is best for all of us. We're really obliged to you for your kindness.
Thank you, Miss Putnam. And now, if all of you don't mind, Dr. Holloway, Mr. Putnam, Williamson, Adams, I'll be brief. Oh, Porky, wheel Mr. Putnam's chair a little closer.
Right, Jeff.
I had the courts appoint me to see that this will is made valid and legal. Now, this is it. I, Martha Putnam, being of sound mind and body, do hereby bequeath my entire fortune and all my worldly goods to Joel Adams, my gardener.
Oh, no, you've made a mistake.
Careful, Lois. What did you say, Miss Putnam?
That isn't my aunt's last will.
Lois. No, I must confess, Miss Putnam, that isn't in your aunt's last will.
Then what do you mean by reading that? My aunt left everything to me.
Please, Lois.
You're right, Lois. I did. In the will you forced me to sign.
Mrs. Putnam. Don't move, Doctor.
Yes, Lois, I signed a will leaving everything to you, that's true. But only because you and your darling doctor forced me to. Oh, I never dreamed that my own flesh and blood would be that selfish.
Just a moment, Mrs. Putnam. The conspiracy to spirit you away and bury the cook in your place was entirely my idea. Don't blame Lois.
It was a clever plot, my friends, and it might have worked, but fortunately you made mistakes. By the way, Doctor, does that bandage on your hand cover a nasty bite you got while doing away with the dog?
Yes, it does. I confess to everything, Mr. Hanson, but Mrs. Putnam is as much to blame as anyone. Everyone who ever lived in this house hated her. With all the money you had, Mrs. Putnam, you never did one decent thing in your whole life. You distrusted everybody and hurt everybody. And so we plotted to get you out of the way. Fate was kind enough to provide us with your cook as the means. With your money, we could have gotten something out of life.
You'll get life now, all right, without her money.
You can relax now, friend. This story is over. But still another plot is being formed for our next session in the inner sanctum. Are we scared? Sure. But what of it? Isn't the villain a great deal more frightened than we? But thanks to clever sleuthing, everything will be solved. And there's one more mystery we may be able to solve for you quite easily. When you don't feel good, when you're low and irritable and the whole world looks black and uninviting, try Carter's Little Liver Pill. Don't give in to that depressed feeling that bogs you down. Go to your nearest drugstore right now and ask for genuine Carter's Little Liver Pills. Regular size, 25 cents. There now. We've closed the door to the inner sanctum for another week. Time to go. But spread the news to all arch criminals that we shall ride again in their pursuit next week. This is no laughing matter for them, my friend, so take your tongue out of your cheek. That's better. Remember, we'll expect you next week at this same time in the mysterious circle of the inner sanctum. Oh, by the way, you like good mystery stories, so be sure to read this month's Inner Sanctum mystery, The Case of the Solid Key, by Anthony Boucher. Good night.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Good night, indeed. Well, that was the host of The Whistler, that scary voice guy. And that concludes the 4 radio shows for today. We have a half an hour left. My house is alive with dogs and my wife and everything coming to life today. Of course, it's Wednesday, so that means my wife goes out to help friends, and my show gets ambient sound while I'm on the air, which is great by me because, I like my reality show to be as real as possible, and real stuff happening, especially the sounds of dogs. I've got a dog here next to me in a chair under a blanket here, and another dog trying to get into the room with the kids passed out. But I'm afraid there's probably no more room in there. So hold on just a second. All right, pardon my audio excursion there while I was checking to see on the status of the this morning's population. Hey, Sam. Come here, Sam. Why don't you come hang out with me? Come here, bud. Yeah, he don't want none of it. He wants to crawl back in bed. Any old bed will do as long as somebody's sleeping. Oliver snagged the chair here, so he's kind of out in the cold, and he knows it. He's bummed. Poor little feller. Poor little feller. So this morning, after I leave you, I am going to be putting together 2 shows, one for Thursday and one for Friday, because I won't be here for the duration of our regular 1-hour broadcast. So what I've decided to do is, since I'm going to be gone for 4 or 5 hours, I am going to start a live broadcast here, and then I am going to, this morning, create for you 2 6-hour shows containing old-time radio and old-time music, jazz and blues, stuff that I would normally be airing either in the morning or in the evening during the week. So I'm just going to try to give you a retrospective or a look back at a lot of the audio that we've uploaded onto the channel here at Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy on YouTube here. Like I said, it's about 7:30 this morning in the AM. It is May 22nd, 2024. I will not be here tomorrow and the next day because my daughter is graduating college, and we're going to be going to the graduation ceremony after I start the show for you here tomorrow night. And then Friday night, we're having a party. So I will be starting a show for you 5 p.m. Friday night as well, and leaving you to enjoy the audio, which will consist of old-time radio shows and some nighttime nonsense and nostalgia, i.e. the blues and jazz from 1920s and 30s. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I'm just going to kind of go back and forth and create a little audio track for you guys to listen to, and we'll, of course, we'll be watching the lava lamp cam because I find it fascinating. I really do, and it is in good form today. When I leave it on for long periods of time, it tends to really break up into these beautiful little marble-like spheres, and I honestly can sit and enjoy that view for hours and hours and hours. Yesterday I played a little bit of Pink Floyd Umaguma. In fact, I got through pretty much most of it before I had to boogie into another realm. And it was great. You know, burn a little incense, stare at a lava lamp, put some Floyd on. You know, I was having a good afternoon until I got so exhausted with myself that I finally had to check out and take a nap. And that's my usual schedule now, is to be with you here in the morning, and then work on some video projects and get shows ready for the future, and then take a couple of hour nap before I come back with you for the 5 p.m. show. Now, my 5 o'clock shows, which are at 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., they're normally going to start around 4:30-ish, so that I can make sure that my computers are running smoothly and my online streaming programs are up to par. So you'll see me come in a little bit early, and when I do that, I'll be playing something for you, so we're not just staring at dead space or staring at me going, what the hell's going on here? You know, I'll try to entertain you, because the evening show is all about entertainment. This morning show, of course, as you know, is all about me and my life and the things that are happening in my world, past, present, and future. And so there's that. And yeah, I just informed my wife that we're going to see Starcrawler at Pappy and Harriet's a week from Friday. So that should be fun. She knows nothing about them, nor does my daughter really. So it should be quite an experience, to say the least. It'll be a blast, something new. I know next to nothing about them. I've heard some of their music, and I've seen some of their videos on YouTube. So check it out, Starcrawler. Fantastic phenomenal. Southern California, just a bunch of rowdy kids, just tearing up the music scene. So I've been following them for a couple of years, and I can't wait to finally see them here. Kind of a hometown experience. Pappy and Harriet's in Pioneer Town is just literally less than 20 minutes up the road here. And you can hear that dog's nails clicking on the floor. He's still wandering around, not knowing what to do. He wants into a room to go to bed, but nobody wants to let him in there because there's probably no room for the poor little fella. So he wanders aimlessly about the house. Clickety-click, clack, click. Clickety, clackety, click. Click, click, click. He needs a nail trimming. But he's not an easy dog to trim. He's a rowdy guy. So when we have to have our boy dogs manicured and pedicured and all that, we have to take them to someone. Because if I do it or we try to do it, it's just too much trauma on them, and then they hold it against us. But if we just take them and pass them off to somebody, and somebody goes in there and trims them up, they're like, what's going on, what's going on, what's going on? And they don't fight, they don't bite, or at least most of the time. And then if they do, they just put a muzzle on them, you know? And it's the next day or two, I think we're going to have to take one of them in and get him trimmed up, or maybe both of them. They're starting to really tickety-tack, tick-tack on the floor as they're walking around. And that's usually a good sign that they need to get a good trimming. Get a good trimming. Once again, last night's show was just fantastic. It was fantastici. My brother stopped by, finally figured out how to work the comments, and he stopped by to hang out and listen to the program and reminisce about being in the booth with our father back in the day when he was a DJ and he used to play this old-time music. It's just some great memories to look back on, and I hope that I can be the catalyst for some of those time journeys, especially for my family and friends, which is ultimately why I created this, but I hope others will join in on the fun and become new family friends, like my friend Joey from Virginia, who actually stopped by the studio a while back and stops in on the chats quite frequently. And that is so cool to make new friends from around the world in this country and abroad. And that's my favorite part about this, aside from being able to communicate with family and friends and show them stuff and interact with them and share my life with them, but also to meet new people and gain these new friends. You know, a lot of these subscribers, I just literally, honestly, just look at as new friends. Goodbye, dear. Have a great day. Be careful. Drive safe. Love you. We'll do lunch. The exact same thing that I say every single time she walks out the door. I am superstitious in that regard, I guess. I did the same thing with my daughter when she was in grade school, all the way up and through high school, right up until about the time that she was always home for school because of the whole COVID thing. She spent about 1.5 years here during high school, just working from the computer. Come on, Sam. You got to come in here and lay down. Come on. Come to bed. Come on. No, you can't go in there. Come to bed. Okay, back and forth, boy.
I'm sorry, dog. It's just not going to work for you.
But I used to tell my daughter the same thing. You know, have a great day. Be a good girl. Have fun. I love you. And I would say that every morning as she was going out to the bus stop or being dropped off or walking out of the house or something. And I just always wanted to make sure that she always had that message with her every single day on the forefront of her mind when she was going to school. I didn't want her to think, oh, I'm so pissed off at my parents for making my day so bad, you know. And that's one of the bummers when you're a kid, is when you go off to school and the one thing on your mind is the last occurrence at home. You know, and if it's a horrible fucked up occurrence on a daily basis. I mean, it really is. It's hard to concentrate on school. It is. And I had that experience quite a lot growing up, where I would go to school with an argument with my mother or father, or, you know, or just feel like crap because I was, you know, forced out of the house too early, or I looked like crap or something, you know. You know, I always had these horrible interactions with my family right before I had to go to school. So I go to school and I just have a horrible fucking time, right? And I never wanted that for my daughter. So I thought, okay, what can I do, you know, to make it so that she doesn't have that issue. Every day she goes to school, and the one thing on her mind is school. Because home life, there's no issues, there's no problem. She knows she's going to be fed. She knows she's going to have clean clothes the next day. She knows that if she wants something, all she has to do is ask for it. And if we can do it, we can do it. I mean, she goes to school, and all she has to focus on is school. And that is the one thing that I was able to do for her while she was in grade school and in high school, was to take that stress away from her, you know, and make sure that every day she left the house, she wasn't hungry. If she was, it was because she knew she was going to school and get something to eat there. And she started doing that because she didn't want to eat before she left the house. She wanted to get to school early, grab something to eat there, and have some time with friends before class. I'm going to hit the lava lamp cam and see if I can let this dog into the next room. He's going to be upset if he can't get in there, but that's the breaks. I'll be right back. Don't nobody go nowhere. And the sound you now hear is little itty bitty Tootsie Roll drinking water. And now she's going to take herself out. You know, one of my main jobs here in the morning is doggy doorman. It's what I do. My job here in Elsinore Brothers studio, when I'm not doing all of this video stuff, I'm doggy doorman, I'm doggy caretaker, I'm husband and cook and occasional housekeeper. I'm father and chauffeur and concert buddy. And I love my life. I love how this is all kind of manifested and become, you know, just happy days, you know. And I couldn't ask for anything to really be any better, you know. I'm starting to figure out this computer stuff more and more every day. So it's becoming less of a burden on my stress meter. You know, tick, 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 tick. I get, you know, I start freaking out about this stuff when I can't go live immediately. So, you know what? I decided, you know what? Why not do the same thing? Because this is like driving, right? All of these technical things and altimeters and tachometers and speedometers and meters and shit going on here. It is quite like driving or flying or doing, you know, one of those operating heavy machinery, right? So it is pretty intense after a while. Come on, dude, get up in here. There you go. There you go. Of course, all of this dog here distracted me, and I lost track of where I was going with this. But needless to say, I will be here this evening for a full live show, bringing you nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. Tootsie, you want to come in here and sit with Ollie? Tootsie Pootsie? Tootsie? Hi, come here a minute. Look, you can sit up in here. Look, you can get in there. You can get in with your boy. Yes, there you go. Okay, there's my girl. Hi, Tootsie Footsie. Look, here's the little Tootsie Footsie. That's Tootsie. This was my father's dog, one of my father's dogs. The other one's passed out back here, big face. One of my father's dogs that I inherited, along with a bunch of old 1980s technical stuff. I inherited his beautiful little dogs, his special bed buddies. They were the inside dogs. They would hang out with him. Hi. And they are a perfect addition to our family. They get along great with the boys. And she is just an adorable little sweetheart. She took immediately to my daughter and has become my daughter's best friend. So she spends most of the time with my daughter. If my daughter's sleeping, she's with my daughter. If my daughter's doing homework, she's with my daughter. If my daughter's eating, she's with my daughter. If my daughter's gone, she's with me, hanging out, staring at me, going, "Hey, what's going on?" And that's Tootsie. That's Tootsie Footsie. So she's come out this morning to drink some water and use the facilities, and now hang out here with little Ollie and go to sleep. And hopefully she'll just curl up into a little ball and get comfy, and these guys will go to sleep for a little while. I am going to start adding some other weird stuff to Fridays. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my telephone here, and it is an actual telephone with a cable and a cord and one of those little curly cables on it, right? It's got push buttons and rotary dials. I got one with rotary, one with push buttons. I think I'm going to bring my push button in here, mic it to the audio here, and I'm going to randomly start calling phone numbers on my friends list, and just like the old radio shows, I'm going to use a funny voice and see if I can trick my friends into thinking that I'm someone else, right? Especially those who haven't heard from me in a long time. That should be fun, right? So I will be sending out a blanket message to anyone who I have a phone number with, and I will be letting them know, hey, how do you feel about being on a YouTube randomly live? If you're okay with that, send me a yes and a thumbs up, and I will put you on the phone list for Friday funny stuff. However we're going to work that, I'm sure I'll figure it out. I've got some new graphics to create. I've added a nighttime show, so I've got to create some new weekly programming with that show included. I've got to create some new end credits for most of my shows because I've involved my daughter, and she is my co-producer, my assistant director, and most importantly, she's my fashion coordinator. She makes sure that I don't come off looking hokey and too pushy. I try to keep it simple. In the mornings, I wear pajama bottoms. Sometimes I wear socks, sometimes I don't. But I always try to make sure that my shirt kind of matches the color scheme of whatever pajama bottom I'm wearing, right? And at her suggestion, I don't wear a hat in the morning show because I'm sitting here drinking coffee in my pajamas, right? And she's so smart to recognize the fact that I'm not ready to walk out of the house. I'm not coming in from being outside, you know? Okay, there's a friend who's asking about some harmonica work that he's doing for my song. So let me hit him up and talk to him. Yeah, totally, dude! Exclamation point. The one with the bass is the one that we need to add harmonica to. Period. I left the one with harmonica so you could remember what we played. Period. Does that sound right? Question mark. Yeah, totally. We need to add harmonica to the bass version. Period. You're awesome, bro. Thank you. Exclamation point. Oh, by the way, I'm live right now. Period. Well, there you go. That's my friend David, who is working on a harmonica piece to add to a song that we did, that he helped me with the bass. He did the bass for it. He did the harmonica for it. We did a bass guitar version, me playing the guitar and singing, him playing the bass. Long story short, I gave him the recordings so that he could add harmonica into the bass version that we did, because I don't have the editing ability here in my studio. This is a video studio, not an audio studio. I can do audio stuff. Like tonight, I'm going to be putting together a couple of 6-hour shows for Thursday and Friday, but I'm just doing that in my video program. So I'm not even sure how that's going to save, if it's going to save with video or without video. I'm hoping it's just going to be sound, and save as a sound file, because that would really help me technically to not have to worry about that much data being put into one video program. While I'm once again I'm all jazzed and excited to hear from my friend about the music. That's one of those things that I was kind of hoping to get on the next a Sunday edition, but it looks like this one may, a Sunday edition may not happen this week because of my daughter's graduation. My dance card is really full. My plate is so full it looks like Thanksgiving dinner. So, yeah, I'm pretty busy. I really want to create some more content to release, but this pretty much takes precedent. My 2 live shows take precedent over my video premiere, a Sunday edition. So while I am working on it, and I will be releasing another video today, I'm going to release photos from my wife's phone, which is a series that follows the photographs that my wife takes. So I'm going to be uploading that today for y'all, right as soon as I'm done here, and then I'm going to get to work on the show for Thursday and the show for Friday. I will start those shows live and push play on a recording and let you enjoy that until I get home from the graduation and rejoin you. And then I will also do the same thing on Friday. I will start a show and then go to my daughter's graduation party, hang out, and then I should be home in time to get back with you for the end of the program. It will be a long program. I will be going out live with a recorded broadcast, but it will be going out live. And I will be joining you, by the way, on the comments from the graduation and from my daughter's graduation party. I will occasionally get on to check the show's status and to see how things are going and to see if anybody's watching and commenting, and I will respond to some of those comments. I've got a dog that's wigging out here wanting to get into the room, but she's just going to have to wait. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into, let me turn that down a little bit. We are going to get into weekly programming, and we are going to watch that. And while I boot that up, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that comes by and hangs out and cares enough to spend some time here and enjoy some of the old-time entertainment that I enjoy. I've got some great stuff picked out for next week and for the rest of this week. So please join me if you can. Here's what's happening this week on mornings and on Crazy Old Weird Bearded Guy channel. Okay, and that's what is going on this week on the Crazy Old Weird Beard Guy channel. Please tune in this evening because we have more nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. I picked out some great 1920s and 30s jazz and blues, some comedy excerpts from some old-time radio. Much like my father would have done back in the day when he was on KPCC San Diego in Pasadena. When he was on the Pasadena City College radio station. That is some fantastic stuff there. I can't wait to come back this evening and join you. For right now, I'm going to call it quits today, and or for this morning, and I am going to get right into some video editing. And first, I'm going to upload that photos from my wife's phone. It is a fantastic series that I've started. She takes great pictures. Every time we go out, she sees a sunset, boom, she gets it. She sees a beautiful flower, she gets it. She's always showing me her phone and going, look, rubbing it in. I'm the one that took a photography class, and she's the one that's just knocking it out of the park every time she picks up her damn phone. Jealous. Yeah, just a little bit. I'm constantly saying, ooh, give me that photo. Ooh, share that over to me. Ooh, 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 ooh. But, I always get those photos eventually because one constant in our household is when she comes along and says, honey, my phone is full. Can you please clear the memory? Right? And I'm like, okay. So I create another file and I grab all of the photos and videos off her phone, stick it onto my computer, and I just got countless files, phone pics from wife's phone pics, Lita's camera, phone downloads from wife. I mean, it's just like that, constantly. I look through these photos like, wow. I need to get one of those frames, right, that you can just take an SD card with all photos and just jam it up in there and stick that on the wall, because that's entertainment. That's art right there. That is some beautiful stuff. But yeah, like I said, I'm going to be doing some great stuff in the nights, in the evenings. Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia is one of those shows that it pretty much just happened organically. All right, I was here doing some testing, and it was like, you know what? This is fun. This really harkens back to my youth when I would sit in the recording booth in the live studio at a radio station with my father and sit and listen to him broadcast out this old stuff and his voice in between. Ladies and gentlemen, that was so and so. It was just great, fantastical stuff there. And that is why I decided to do Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia. So I hope you'll join me Monday through Friday, 5 nights a week for Nighttime Nonsense and Nostalgia. what we're going to do now is we're going to end the show with our end credits, and then I'm going to come back, and to follow up the end of the program, I'm going to play one song for you that we played at the beginning of the show, Crazy Words, Crazy Tune, from 1927, Frank Crumit, okay, or Crumit, or Crumie, however you pronounce that. But right now, here is the end credits to the morning show. And thank you for joining me. I hope you have a splendiferous day. And, hey, I got a message from my buddy here before we go. Measure twice, cut once. Yep, that's what they say. Definitely. Thank you so much, David, for getting that worked on. That is some awesome sauce right there. That makes my day. So I know that's somewhere out there in the future. Gonna happen. Gonna go over to YouTube. Gonna go over to YouTube. Anyway, so we're putting on the Ritz, putting on the hits. I am putting on the morning show end credits while my dogs tickety tick tack around the house. Everything's getting alive around here, man. Yeah. So here we go with today's end credits. Thank you so much for joining me, and be sure to hang around for the last song of the day. All right. I want to get past this noisy stuff here. I love you all. Thank you for joining me. Please, peace, love, and stay weird. If you're not weird, you're just not. All right? So there you go. Thank you so much.
There's a guy I'd like to kill. If he doesn't stop, I will. Got a ukulele and a voice that's loud and shrill. 'Cause he lives next door to me, and he keeps me up till 3 with his ukulele and a funny melody. Crazy word, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. His ukulele daily, how he'll strum. Bum, 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 vampin' and stampin', then he hollers black bottom. Crazy words, crazy tunes, he'll be driving me crazy soon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. I have begged that guy to stop. I have even called a cop. Told my dog go sick him, but the darn dog wouldn't go. But tonight will be the end, yes sirree, 'cause I intend to go up and kick him in the bo-do-do-de-o-do. Crazy words, crazy tune, all that you'll ever hear him croon. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. Bo-do-do, sits around all night long, sings the same words to every song. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. He's got to stop it, yes he must, or I'll just kill him, I'll kill him. Then I'll do the black bottom when I'm jailed for my deed. To the jury and the judge I'll plead. Bo-do-de-o, bo-do-do-de-o-do. rage, it's the craze. Everybody sings nowadays. Vo-do-de-o, vo-do-do-de-o-do. Vo-do-do. Every goof, every sheep, soon as you can begin to shriek. Vo-do-de-o, vo-do-do-de-o-do. Go on the east side, the west side, here, all there, everywhere. They do-do, vo-do-do. Then they holler blank bottom, young or old, old or young. The guy that started it should be hung. Vo-do-de-o, vo-do-do-de-o-do.
And that concludes regular scheduled broadcasting for this morning. Please tune in tonight for nighttime nonsense and nostalgia. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening. Bye now. Stay weird.